written a column.
When, right?
You can have this bucket from there, don't mind. Oh, it works. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. It's the week of the changeover, of course, isn't it? Year on year now.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So we're going to see her back. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not easy. Yeah.
Couldn't believe what's going on.
Yeah, you went to yeah. Oh, blimey.
Pretty much to the day, at least to the weekend.
Yeah. Oh. You took a novelty to me. Oh, it's 3 years now, I think. A bit hang of it, see.
Something wrong with it.
Yeah, I grew up in an old farmhouse. I'm
Yeah,
aware
so
of
you
that.
know. Well, I was in a farmhouse as well, so you know you've got these several things come to light.
Yeah.
And I don't think she's living on her own. But boys are now in London. The youngest son is in Cirencester.
Right, so it's a bit of a thing. Oh, Steve's struggling there.
The agenda is just the reports I can't get up.
Anger a bit, because I forwarded it past quite a few dogs in the last
Some of you are here.
days and just looked at them and not.
I had them on my computer at home, but they're not. Oh, hang on. There's something else. There it is. Thank goodness.
People said he would after 3 years. It's taken a couple of years.
A bit wet, like a bedraggled rat.
That's why I was in this.
Literally, it's river flowing down Stakey Lane.
No, but it'll be on there.
Up to the top of these, walking in water. And
Oh, I've read it online.
it's May, exactly.
Retreat.
Amazon, yes. There, look, see, this is water.
I'm staying as long as I was.
I just asked.
Oh, do you see? Okay. That's
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine, mate. Yeah. No, that's perfect.
No. Oh, that's terrible.
I'm coming or going.
We want to what we don't want.
Well, I always,
I don't mind at the minute.
I always say, like, when you first
They really need to be there until they're finished.
It is, that's all I think.
The meetings need to go until they're finished.
I mean,
I wrote my first book very far from there. I was in just north
so,
well, village of Earlwood. I rented a caravan for a month.
It happens when you it happens. It's getting new when you return from some major trip.
No, just before.
You can't always walk.
No, 1990 before I made the trip, because
Was he? Yeah.
to being a motorcycle.
So to adapt immediately, he goes to Ireland.
Well, you can all.
Wales, and it was the day that Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait.
Yeah.
Right, the world can change it. It's incredibly hot.
Shocking.
Yeah.
He's got a nice little washer dry.
Has he? Yeah.
Moving it.
point passing so I can turn it on, please. Thank you.
I know.
Susie. Yeah.
I did say she'd stay with me if she wanted.
Yeah.
She wouldn't stay with me if it goes on too long.
What is it, 7 bedrooms, I reckon? Two fairly new dogs now. Terrier about 12 years.
Something. No, all right. Somebody needs coffee.
Natural.
Which one is that?
That's the left.
Great do meditation on.
Tends to go in that one and then out that one. It's a talking retreat.
Yeah.
It's fairly relaxed.
If you've got that, such a Connor with the 11 attachments.
Yeah.
Oh, very odd. What time is yours, sir? Just in case, I guess.
Exactly, retreat. I do plan to go to Israel. So, got somebody coming to look after Jack.
It'll be hot, I imagine.
It'll be very hot.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that. It's going to be very hot to be too hot.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of proposing considering what's happening.
Got to go and get all the
One.
at some point.
Oh, you got that?
All the bits what's going on, yeah.
I think first of all, infidels. Then you
The agenda.
not included. It's a problem, isn't it?
That's the last one.
A bit like the coronation, yeah.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched the actual coronation stuff.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. I went to the church service.
Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. Please be upstanding for His Worship, the Mayor of Glastonbury, Councillor John Cole.
Only. Thank you.
That's fantastic.
All on video.
It's been a long couple of weekends.
Thank you, everyone. Do please be seated. Do bear with me a moment. Hopefully you can hear me. This is an extraordinary meeting, not an extraordinary meeting, as you know, but one full of pomp and ceremony and humour. And I did say to David before I came in, I said, you normally introduce me as Councillor Coles, don't do it this time. he said, I will remember, I will remember. So there we are. It's worthy, I'm sure, to follow in such a esteemed alderman's footsteps. So tonight's meeting is a little bit ceremonious, and the first item of business, of course, is the election of a new mayor. And so this is my final meeting to open and chair for a little bit as Mayor of Glastonbury. And I'd just like to say what a huge honour it has been to fulfil this role over the last 3 years. And this is my 4th term, but I have been mayor and had the huge fortune and honour to be mayor for 3 years through COVID and the lockdown, and of course now the crisis, the cost of living crisis, of course. And as things move forward, we will be feeling more the climate emergency, etc. So it is normally customary at this time for me to thank a few people. And first of all, I would like to thank all of the councillors around this table for your help and support in the last 3 years, and a year, some of you as well. We had an election through this term, but thank you very, very much. This council does work together very well, and we are all working together for Glastonbury, and it's been a great pleasure to be sat around this table with you. Thank you very much. I'd also like to extend my thanks to the town clerk. Connor literally was thrown into the deep end, you could say, at the beginning of last year, and I think he's done rather well. And I wonder, Connor, whether you'd be very happy to accept this little gift from me. It's something I hope you'll like.
Thank you so much, Your Worship.
And I think, thank you, and I think Connor deserves a round of applause.
There are two other people I'd particularly like to thank, and one of them has been with me throughout the year. As we've come out of lockdown, of course, all of those events that, the civic events that mayors get invited to have suddenly remembered that they happen, and we've had invites this year, and I've been very pleased to have someone who was once a deputy mayor of Glastonbury, but now is the mayoress with me, and that's Sue Barnett. I'd like to thank you, Sue, for over here. Sorry, I thought you were over here for a moment. I couldn't see. Thank you, Sue, for everything you've done. And I've got a bunch of flowers for you, which my glamorous assistant will be bringing over. Thank you very much, Sue, as well. Thank you. And finally, I'd like to extend my thanks to someone who has been absolutely brilliant as Deputy Mayor this year, Indra. Thank you so much. And we have a bunch of flowers for you as well. So there we are. And finally, although I don't see him here, I'd like to say thank you to my chaplain, David McGeoch, who's been absolutely brilliant during the year, but I see that he may have his stunt double here in the form of Kieran. Is David coming, do you know?
I was thinking so.
Right, because we have now reached the point of the evening where I might ask you, if you don't mind, to say a short prayer for us before we have the meeting, and to perhaps light the unity candle. Would that be okay? Thank you.
Like as you feel able to stand. As we hold some moments of silence and stillness together, let us offer all that is in this meeting, thanksgiving for John and for all that will come this year. All that we are, we bring to this table.
Thank you, everyone. If you would now observe with me the silent minute. Thank you very much, everyone. So we now move to, do we have public participation? Thank you very much. So we now move to the first item of the agenda, which is to elect the town mayor for the ensuing year. And I wonder if we have any nominations. Yes, Councillor Henderson.
Your Worship, I would like to nominate Deputy Mayor Indra Don Francesco. I would like to say a few words, if you don't mind. From going to St Dunstan's School to being involved in many local environmental and recycling projects, Indra is Glastonbury through and through. She has worked with the festival and Children's World, helped at the Christmas lunch, and coordinates the seed swap. She has campaigned against fracking and worked in the town to address climate emergency. She cares passionately about the community and has been an active councillor and deputy mayor, representing the town well on many occasions. I believe that with all these qualities, Indra will be a great asset to Glastonbury as our next mayor.
Thank you very much. Does anyone wish to second the nomination? Thank you very much. Seconded by Councillor Oakton. Are there any other nominees? So could I have a show of hands of all those in favour of Councillor Don Francesco to become mayor for the ensuing year? Thank you very much. Any against? And any abstentions? Thank you very much. Quite a surprise. So thank you very much. Congratulations, Indra. You are mayor for the coming year. A round of applause. So now, ladies and gentlemen, customary as it is, we will ceremoniously file out, and I will take off these robes for the last time, and Indra will become mayor and come back in shortly. But whilst that's happening, please do speak amongst yourselves. Thank you very much.
It may not be. Yeah, I just haven't got any glove.
Your phase two.
This is a chance for me to ask you. Shall I come round?
Becomes easier. You're more nimbler on your feet than me, Lynch.
Because I'm not a district councillor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you read it all. Yeah.
So,
That's fantastic.
I wish we could.
mental health.
No, I've been
Do you
pushing
know,
that anyway.
really,
Yeah.
that is such a
Terrible.
You don't do it another 3 pints. And those, and you don't. There won't be much of that. You don't do neighbourhood plan ACE.
Ace, yeah.
World Heritage.
That's wonderful.
And come in later.
Can't come
Remember, I've got personal
You
experience
can. On any committee you can join, or you can ask.
with being transferred into a nursing home tomorrow, possibly.
Sorry to hear that.
go yet.
No, that's a lot. That's a long
Yeah,
journey.
okay.
We've raised the money to pay for the carers.
That one.
And if I need it,
So that one, I'm not going to go on that one because I'm going to go on that.
right,
So I don't want to be reporting to myself.
yeah, that doesn't make sense. Okay, and then that one,
Yeah. So I'll do improve, and then so basically improve will finish, and Crossfair will take over. Okay. The other thing that we're on is we're on Austin Memorial.
yeah,
I've worked my head about that. At the moment,
It's quarterly. Yeah.
that one.
No, I don't think so.
Don't worry, you can always. Have you got
On
one?
the burial.
I have sent an email to you actually.
there's one of these.
I haven't seen it, you know?
Yeah, I've sent it today.
Oh, right, okay, it'll be on here. Did you send it here, or did you?
Find out now, can't you?
I've had enough today, I'll tell you. I've got
Yeah, there's something else.
a farm that's flooded, which is the big one for me today. Ah, you know that I'll be agreeing with you on things like that around plants.
No, we had
Some have one. Yeah, but I think they're now going to be about 6 weekly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that and I
Yeah.
thought that's normal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So if you,
No, I have to worry about ash trees
I
today.
asked Connor about that one, and he said that there won't be very much about to do, and it was like if we're going to have another event, plan the event, and then
Another one,
very,
for the Holcomb. Now I make a decision whether stuff goes to.
yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
Not
All right, well, that's what I'm thinking anyway, because
I've got a big one.
I've been so busy.
Somebody wants on feet.
I had 9 holidays.
And they want to put 2,000 solar panels. I was going to have to.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks off.
Yeah, I can't do it.
On emails.
Yeah, I know. They've just Helen's and they've added them up.
Yeah, so
She's got to have a chat. I've got to look down the whole list. Yeah, they are. Both ways. Joining organisation. You know, somebody wants to put one box and a member who
No rest.
yeah, I haven't had any rest. And then I got back.
still want money every day. And if you look at YouTube when you're working, which I often do, I have a big screen and I work in designing pages. And then I have YouTube going over it.
I'm pretty sure it said that
You get adverts every other track if you listen to music. And it's a very powerful way of getting money out. So disturbing, you know, it gets a bit upsetting. Yeah, that'd you feel mean if you, and I could, I'm on board with that. Get it without the adverts.
You've obviously worked out what adverts work for you.
Yeah. There's a reason why I did. Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Some adverts. Not by this type.
Wording was right. Even the wording, I didn't like. So many places in the world that need it. Yemen and Ukraine. What day? Not Somalia. So they just want. Yes. That's all the environment. The Gorilla's doing quite well. That's one of my longest ever organisations. It used to be called the Diane Fossey Foundation, and now it's just called the Gorilla Organisation. You're allowed to have communications like email when you go to a retreat. And you are.
Well, there's different sorts of retreats.
Yeah.
So we measured certificates.
Yeah.
The more talkative it is, the more...
Try to get this one right. Oh yay! Oh yay! Oh yay! Please be outstanding for the new mayor of Glastonbury, Councillor Indra Don Francesca.
in the back corner.
Be seated. Right, do I read this first? So I, Councillor Indra Don Francesco, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Glastonbury Town Council, hereby declare that upon the office my duties and will do duly and faithfully and fulfil the duties of it and serve Glastonbury according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the Code of Conduct which is expected of members of Glastonbury Town Council. This declaration was made and signed at the annual council meeting 9th of May 2023. Thank you. I will sign that. I would also like to say thank you to everyone and my grateful thanks to Councillor Steve Henderson for his generous nomination, and it is such an honour to receive a nomination for such a long-standing member of this council who has tirelessly come, and someone I respect very deeply. So thank you very much, Councillor Henderson. I'd like to pay tribute to John, but he doesn't seem... Oh, hello. Oh, he's at that back.
I can sit in that chair.
Oh, you're in like limbo. Okay.
You can come and sit next to me, John.
That was really fun. You said that. You do whatever you have earned your seat wherever in this building. So thank you. But anyway, I'd like to pay tribute to our outgoing mayor. Thank you. John Cousins has actually been mayor 4.5 times, stepping in whenever things got rocky. We've had quite a turbulently a few years, and John has seen us through turbulence and through celebrations, which sometimes were equally turbulent. But you've been a steady hand at this tiller. So Glastonbury is grateful, and I am grateful and humbled for your encouragement and your coaching as your deputy. It has been, you have made it seem very easy, but I know it has been and will be, yes, a difficult task. But I've learnt from the best. And I'm grateful to have had this year and to have presided over deputy for you. I'm most grateful, though, that you have had a year of a jubilee, a monarch's funeral, and a coronation. And touch wood, this year will be a lot calmer. So thank you for putting that all in your year.
Thank you.
And also, how could I not accept, with such an amazing staff that we have here that work together tirelessly and have done, and the best council. It has been such a pleasure to work with you, and it's going to be exciting times. We've got a lot of work to do. We hit the ground running. We've been here a year, and we've got through so much. It is a true honour to be given this chance to be Mayor of Glastonbury, which is the greatest small town in the world. Thank you very much. Right, first order of business. I'm going to swap around, if that's okay. I will swap round. I'll first.
Okay, you've got to sign your paper.
Oh yeah, I haven't signed it yet, have I? Thank you. I'll sign it when I get it. Do I need to accept it first?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's stick to. Did I just hide it? I know. My apologies, my acceptance seems to have filed itself.
There.
It was right there. Wow. Denny.
Have one of those glasses.
Denny's here. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry, I didn't go in the shower.
Thank you. Okay. Right. I would now please like to swap around the orders of the day, and I'd like to bring forward, please, electing a deputy mayor. Is that okay? Yes.
Yep. Okay, I would like to propose Councillor Lockabundy. I'm not sure if I've got the name right, I usually don't, who I think will be an excellent deputy mayor and will be a steadying and guiding light for Indra here, our mayor, Your Worship, and will be very good and will do lots of good things for the town, which he's already been doing. So that's why. So I'm proposing the councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cottle. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Michael White. Brilliant. May we have a vote, please? All in favour? Anyone against? Anyone else standing? Are you against?
Abstaining.
Abstaining. Thank you. Abstentions? One abstention. Thank you. Congratulations, Deputy Lakbandu. Thank you, councillors. Bear with us for another 5 minutes as we do another little shuffle, and then we'll come back in.
Getting your 10,000 steps, that's for sure.
Yeah, myself.
Stop.
She's okay, but she just needed.
Oh, you want me to move here? Yeah, yeah. Quite unwell, actually. I'd be surprised if she comes back.
She'll be okay. Thank you, ex-mayor.
Michael, is Zoe okay? She looked quite unwell.
Margaret connected.
Lenny, and that's why she ran out. She was in tears.
Yeah.
Too bad. Right.
Especially so.
And losing a mother.
I was like that.
A difficult relationship with my mother. The emotions are strong.
Well, gonna have some fun.
Yeah, I'll text Susie later on as well, find out where she's to.
What she's up to.
Yeah.
Where does she live in?
I think she stayed with her.
No, where's her house in Glastonbury?
Oh, it's in the lane next door to me.
It's where Logs used to live years ago, the Logs. When they
Oh, yes, I know what you mean, yeah.
On the barn next door.
Yeah, all right.
You know where Colin used to live?
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, if she sells that, she'll be able to retire anyway, so.
All I can say is revise it.
Got a lot of work.
At least 200,000.
Yeah.
All right.
Tiles up. All sorts of problems.
No. I can imagine Susie wanting to get that done.
She married?
She was.
Oh, I see. She's there on her own. I think that's a lot for one person.
Yeah, her ex-husband lives in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because the boys are all living in she can't drive. She's staying with one of them.
Yeah, because her arm is still bad. Yeah.
Please.
Oh yay, oh yay, oh yay. Please be upstanding for the new Deputy Mayor of Glastonbury, Councillor Lokabandu. God save the King.
Thank you. Please be seated. Before we continue, I would just like to announce, so my consort will be Morgana Don Francesco. Thank you very much. And my chaplain, if he agrees, Kieran Rousley. We'll be honoured for you to be my chaplain. Thank you very much. Lovely. The Deputy Mayor like to say some words.
I was reflecting when walking through the rainstorm to get here tonight that this time a year ago it was all a bit like a dream, complete novelty and everything new and unfamiliar and rather dreamlike. And the year has passed so quickly. And I don't say it's routine, but at least I feel much more comfortable, familiar being here. I'm just very honoured actually to have this opportunity to work with all of you and with Indra as our new mayor, doing what we can for Glastonbury. I mean, it's clear that the powers of the town council are limited, but maybe its influence is a bit less limited, and its scope for initiative, you know, is wide open. So I think we're just here to do what we can, working together for the benefit of the town. I feel very honoured personally to have that opportunity and excited by it at the same time. I appreciate your confidence in me, Councillor Cottle and Councillor White, and all of you actually. I appreciate your confidence and I'll do my best to repay it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, councillors, and thank you so much, members of our beautiful town, for coming and watching this remarkable ceremony. I believe now the official parts are over, and anyone who does not want to sit through our finance and appointment of committees is most welcome to not be here. So you're also very welcome to stay. I find it fascinating, but just not everyone does. Yeah, just as well, really. So thank you very much for coming. Really, thank you.
So we have to appoint sergeants and mates as well. So we've done the chaplain,
Got an official.
sergeants.
I was leaving, Mayor. Thank you, John.
Let's see how this goes. Oh yes, picture afterwards. Thank you. Yes, we'll do picture. Yeah, we've taken up enough time, I think. So may I, without further ado, appoint the sergeants of mace for the ensuing year. So are we happy to carry being our maces, Terry Dowden and Claire Crampton? Yes. Perfect. Lovely. I'm very happy with that. Thank you very much. Right, thank you, councillors. Gosh, this is going to be... So please do jump in and to nudge me whenever you feel. We'll just have to go to this our way. Thank you very much for that, councillor. Right, before we start, do we have any declarations of interest, please, from our agenda today? Any declarations of interest, please, councillors? Yes.
Thank you, Your Worship. I am a trustee the Glastonbury Mental Health Network, if that comes up. I'm also a director of Glastonbury Information Centre, CIC, if that comes up.
Thank you.
And I am currently also director of Glastonbury Tribunal Limited, if that comes up. And I'm a trustee of the Glastonbury People's Trust, and I'm currently the chair of that charity as well. And if I remember anything else, I'll mention it later. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Was it Councillor Price? And did you have your hand up? Oh, no, you've got chocolate. No. Did you have your hand up, Councillor?
Thank you, Your Worship. I am a member of Glastonbury Conservation Society and also chairperson of the Common Law Allotment Society.
Thank you, Councillor Smythe. Any other declarations of interest? Yes, Councillor Cook.
I might bring up Glastonbury Online later on, which I believe I'm still a director of, so that's it.
Thank you very much.
But with no money interest.
Thank you. Do we have any apologies for absence?
Your Worship, I've received apologies from County Councillor Hart, but they're the only apologies I've received.
Thank you very much.
Apologies from Councillor Napper, please. He's been detained somewhere.
Thank you, Councillor Osborne. Right, to approve the previous minutes.
May I, Your Worship, I have the copy for you to sign.
Yep.
Councillor White highlighted to me that in item 253, no, I apologise, 251, that I had written that Councillor Ronnie Dougal was a Councillor Ronnie Dougal was not a frond, in fact a friend. So I have the copy that you will sign. I've made that amendment on the first page, but other than that, the minutes are as you have.
Thank you, Connor. So page 95.
I was looking forward to pointing out that I might be a frond if I want to be a frond.
You'll always be a frond to me. So pages 95, pages 96. '97. '98. '99. 100. And 101. Nope, all correct. I have 2 bars of chocolate in front of me. How did that happen?
I remind you, Your Worship, to initial and date each page and sign and date the last page.
Sign date the last page, will do. Is everyone in? Is everyone in agreement? I will suffice.
Aye.
Thank you, councillors. Right, while I am signing this. So, number 10 item on our agenda, please, is to consider and approve a calendar of meetings.
The update of actions.
Thank you very much. To receive an update of actions from the last meeting. Connor.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm awaiting more information regards the raising awareness of and hopefully reducing domestic violence leaflets that were mentioned at the last meeting. I have put in an inquiry with the community payback scheme regarding litter picking and other tidying up and beautification initiatives around the town. Various items will be on the next property and assets agenda. The one just gone was too busy, but they will be going on to a property and assets agenda very soon. I have put it into the diary that the Pride flag will be flying from the 23rd to the 31st of July. I did try to gain consent for the Earth Protector flag, however I couldn't gain it in time, so I have added that to the calendar for next year to gain that in advance. And the news releases from the last council meeting were all made regarding the coronation.
Thank you very much, Connor. Any questions? Yes, Councillor.
Thank you. Although there were no inaccuracies within the minutes that we've just agreed, I was just wondering whether or not the nomination for Free Woman, etc., which was done in closed session, whether that needed to be recorded within the minutes, or whether that should be left out of the minutes as it was, done without members of the public and the press. I just wondered if perhaps the clerk would like to clarify that with us. Thank you.
I will seek advice, Councillor Cousins. I've never actually had to minute something like that before. I suspect that it probably should be in the minutes because in previous years certain votes for, say, Citizen of the Year have been in there even though they were in closed session. That's probably an omission on my part, so what I will do, I will amend that last page of the minutes to make sure that that item is considered in the minutes and ask for the Mayor to re-sign that last page if that's all right with members around the table.
Is that all right with members? I was surprised.
Aye.
Anyone not? Thank you. Okay, and breathe. Thank you. Now let's go to consider the above approved calendar of meetings. So you would have seen it, hopefully. This is a new calendar put together by Connor. Connor, would you like to explain the new calendar?
Thank you, Your Worship. What I have sought to do here is add to the calendar of meetings that have been published in the past. So full council and planning have their evening, the second and third Tuesday of the month respectively. Finance and general purposes used to meet in July and November, and then the town meeting was also scheduled. However, no other committee had its meetings scheduled. So it adds to the length of time in meetings trying to agree your next date toward the end of it. And also it didn't really allow anyone to plan too far in advance. I felt, based on best practice that I found at other councils, it's probably a good idea to at least propose to you a calendar of meetings. What I have tried to do, I've obviously added full council and planning in their respective Tuesdays. I believe in the calendar are all of the delegated committees that make decisions, except for the Town Hall Revenue Subcommittee, because that is a little bit of an ad hoc committee. So off the top of my head, because I haven't included it within the calendar, I believe I've scheduled for Property and Assets to meet roughly 6 weekly. Finance and General Purposes meets twice. Staffing meets every quarter. Resilience is every other month. Youth is quarterly. In Bloom is as when required. I sought advice from the clerk of that committee to see when that committee needed to meet. Planning is obviously monthly. And there's the Grey, the St Dunstan's is the Project Implementation Subcommittee, and that also meets every other month. So I've gone and scheduled those committees all the way through until May of next year, in the hope that you will accept the proposed calendar of meetings, take away a copy with you, put them in your diaries. It does not prevent any of those committees from altering their dates or from meeting in between if they call an extraordinary meeting. It was merely to allow everyone to plan. So I believe you've had the actual calendar, but also a list where I've done it committee by committee.
Brilliant, Connor.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, Councillor
I'd like
Smythe.
to propose that we accept this calendar.
Okay, do we have anyone who'd like to talk further about this? Oh, we're seconding it. Okay, we're going forward to adopting this new calendar. Yeah, all in favour?
Aye.
Any oh, no, that is fantastic. Unanimous.
The calendar.
The calendar works. Yep, that was that both of you? Sorry, can I just do that again, please? Both councillors again. Was that a yes? Fabulous, unanimous. That's amazing, Connor. Thank you so much for your hard work. It should be revolutionary. Yes, please, Councillor Cousins.
Thank you. Whilst some people really love blue, I wonder whether staffing and planning could have a change of colour, one of them at least, because until I looked at the list, I found it quite hard to distinguish between planning and staffing. And I wondered if it's stylish to have black with white words as the staffing. I wonder if that's possible.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Is that possible?
I apologise for that. On my computer screen, there was a much larger difference.
Down the drain.
Yeah, really.
I will amend the calendar to make staffing a black box with white text, and I will reissue it by email. But please do feel free to take this calendar away.
Yes.
If it's the third Tuesday of the month, it's planning.
Great. So I have been told also that once you have these, you can actually change the date of the next meeting at the meeting. Yeah, at the committee meeting. So brilliant. Thank you. Point 11 on the agenda, to appoint the internal auditor for 23-24 and note the external auditor for 23-24. Connor, thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. It is the recommendation of myself and the responsible finance officer to reappoint for this year Pro Business of Wells as our internal auditor, with a view next year to appointing a different company so that you get a fresh pair of eyes. It's good practice to every few years change your internal auditor. Our external auditor is appointed nationally, so that's why we're only noting that one, and it is to note that our external auditor for the year is PKF Littlejohn, who again were our external auditor for this year, just passed.
Thank you, Connor. Any questions? Nope. Going on to item 12. So to appoint signatories to the Town Council's bank account 23-24. So this is, we have two so far. At the moment we have HSBC for current and deposit accounts, and we have nationwide saving accounts. I did bring up that we did actually say we were phasing out. Do you want to speak to that, Serena?
Well, I was just wondering, I know that Connor said that once we were in the new financial year, that the ethical banks would come in as was possible, and I was just wondering what an update on that would be.
Thank you, Councillor Ronnie-Dougal. The update on that one, the resolution of the Ethical Banking Subcommittee was to leave it to the responsible finance officer to set those accounts up and start using them when she was able to. That is in process. It's a bit of a headache setting up a bank account for a council. Additionally, we did have to wait for the precept to come in, which was a little bit late, because you can't open a bank account without some money to put into it. So the resolutions of the banking subcommittee are going to be enacted in the next few months, and I'm hoping that come the Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting in July, we will be appointing signatories to those different bank accounts. This is merely to ensure we have signatories on the bank accounts for those that we have at the moment, but it is in process, setting up accounts with the banks that the Ethical Banking Subcommittee decided upon.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, Connor. Any other questions about the banking service?
So if I may, Your Worship, have two signatories. So 2 signatories for the HSBC current, 2 signatories for the HSBC deposit, and 2 signatories for the nationwide savings account.
Okay. Does it need to be the mayor, one of them? Yes.
Can I ask who the current signatories are?
Thank you.
Sorry.
I believe, off the top of my head, it's Councillors Cousins and White, I believe, are the signatories on bank accounts.
Next question is there any problem in keeping it the same if nobody's got any objections?
Is there any policy in keeping it the same, Connor? For now, until we change?
Keeping it the same would be efficient, Your Worship, because it would mean that we don't have to fill in new signatory forms, take signatories off, to then do it again in a few months' time when we have new bank accounts. So
I love efficient.
If members are willing to keep the same signatories for the bank accounts, that, as I say, is quite efficient.
Thank you. Councillor Cousins?
Worship, I'm quite happy to remain a signatory.
Thank you.
I'm quite happy to remain a signatory as well. And the reason they chose us in the first place was because we're often in town during the day.
Love it. Efficient and useful. Do we need to discuss this, or is that as is?
A vote by saying aye will more than suffice.
Brilliant. All in favour say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Is that just the one, or does that cover both?
That covers all 3 of the accounts, Your Worship. I will carry over the signatories for all 3 bank accounts.
Fabulous. We are churning through this. Item 13, to appoint member of committees and advisory committees. Right, this might take a little bit longer. So I remember this bit from when we were first made councillors. So we have a committees list and advisory committees and outside bodies. So I think this is a show of hands, please. If I go through the list as people had time, and also obviously now we have an amazing calendar to cross. So cross-section with the calendar and the committees. So can I please take you through property and assets? Gosh. That is everybody. So can we please, I think, thank you very much, everybody. I think we also need to be careful. What happened last year was lots of people put their hands up for lots of things. And I think we were actually minded to at the beginning, especially the new councillors. So we got a taste of the committees that we were going on. And also we got an overview and we learned. But then we didn't have to sit them. I think what did happen though is we didn't officially say that we weren't going to be part of those committees. So there was problems with being quorate this year. So if we could just be mindful. Yes, Councillor Cousins.
Thank you. Taking a leaf out of standing orders, I wonder whether or not, if councillors miss a committee meeting for a 6-month period, if they don't attend during a 6-month period, whether the clerk could double check with the council whether they wish to be on that committee. Because as you say, some of the committees, it has been quite difficult to make sure that we're quorate.
If that is in standing orders.
If I may, Your Worship, yes. So the legislation states that if a councillor doesn't attend a single summoned meeting for a period of 6 months, they are disqualified as a councillor. So that is, if a councillor is a member of obviously council and 3 committees, if they don't attend anything for 6 months, then they are disqualified. What I am going to do this year internally to make things more efficient is actually keep a register. Because I would have to go through minutes at present if I wanted to know who had and hadn't been to various meetings. So I'm going to keep a register going through the year, and so will the rest of the team. And yes, what I will do, just almost out of courtesy rather than as a point of procedure, is if a councillor hasn't been to a meeting of a certain committee for a period of 3 months, I will note to ask them whether they wish to still serve on that committee.
Okay.
Thank you, Conor. Councillor White and then Councillor Smythe.
Just one point of order. I believe that people can join the committee during the year at some point. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
And is that any committee?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor Smythe.
I'd just like to add that I think the individual chairs of each committee will help Conor with that question.
Yep, that's a great idea, I think.
Lighten Conor's loads.
Councillor Cousins and Councillor Duggan.
Point of order, Your Worship. Staffing is not staffing has a limited number of places, so councillors can't just join staffing if they wish.
Yes, it says here 2 vacancies to be filled. We'll come to that when we come to it. Any questions? Yes, Councillor McDougall.
So just to clarify, I understood that if you join halfway through or midpoint, it's at the discretion of the committee. So that prevents people from just coming and going, basically.
Yeah, no, that's in. No, technically, is that Conor? Is that your understanding?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay. Thank you. Are we ready to go on to the next one? Thank you. Finance and general purposes. Hands up, please. Do you want me to go through the names?
If you could, Your Worship, then I can note them easily.
Okay, well, everyone except for Councillor Cook and Councillor Otterborn. Oh, sorry, and Councillor Margaret Overton. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Oh, sorry, no, we have Councillor Cook has joined us. Thank you very much. Councillor Cousins?
Your Worship, I'm minded that Councillor Napper isn't here, so we may wish to make sure that he is able to let us know which committees he wishes to be on.
We want to be on the carnival one. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Yes, this is something though we can email him and ask.
What I will do, Your Worship, I will get in touch with Councillor Napper and ask him these questions.
Thank you, Connor. Any more questions? Moving on. Planning. We have Serena, John, Lindsay, Mike, Rick, Lilith, Paul, Steve. Oh, and Lokabandu, the Deputy Mayor. And myself. Thank you, councillors. Right, staffing, we have 2 vacancies to be filled. Is there anyone who would like to nominate somebody or anyone that would like to participate? Oh, sorry, I think that was Serena, Mike, and then Lindsay, and then Lilith.
I'd like to nominate Margaret Oakton. I know that she has been on before and I've been told that she has a wealth of expertise and is an excellent person on the committee.
Okay, thank you. Are we getting a seconder?
I was just going to ask a question.
Oh, sorry, question.
Thank you. Am I right in thinking the staffing committee is made up of the current mayor, the outgoing mayor,
Yes.
and 2 other councillors?
Yes.
Correct?
Thank you.
Sorry, Your Worship. The staffing committee consists of the immediate previous mayor, the current mayor, and the deputy mayor, and 2 other councillors.
Yes, so it's the 2 councillors. Thank you.
Okay.
So yes.
I'll second Margaret, by the way.
Okay, thank you. How do we do this? If other people, have we got other nominations here? Yeah, should we do them one at a time? Okay, thank you. You're seconded. So, oh, sorry, Margaret, do you want to nominate? Just before we lynch you. Yes.
Your Worship, I believe it'd probably be fairer for us to know all of the nominated.
Thank you, that's a good point.
And perhaps we could go to a secret ballot where councillors can choose 2 out of all of those nominated, unless we only have 2. That way, it will be courteous to everybody.
Fantastic, thank you, because I've not done a secret ballot before, so that'd be interesting. So, sorry.
Thank you, Worship.
Councillor
I'd
Smythe.
very happily carry on to member staff.
Thank you very much. Do we do seconder now? Lovely. Do we have anyone else? Anyone else wish to?
I want to nominate Rick.
Rick, thank you. Anyone want to second Councillor Cook as the in staffing? Thank you. Brilliant. So we now have 3. Do we go for a yes? Councillor Cousins, please guide us.
I'm conscious that Councillor Henderson has previously sat on this committee, and I wondered whether he wished to continue. If he did so, I would be happy to nominate him too.
Thank you.
Councillor Cousins, I was aware that there was only 2 vacancies to be filled, so I'm quite happy to step aside and let the other 3 fight it out.
Okay. Yeah, as long as we've got some expertise on this, who knows the yes. Okay, great. Thank you. So that's a no from Steve. So we have 3. Would you please enlighten us how we proceed with 3?
Well, not wishing to second guess the clerk, but normally according to standing orders, pieces of paper will be passed to members, and we will all write 2 of the nominated names on that piece of paper. The clerk will collect them, and the clerk will then tally who are the 2 people who will become the staffing committee members, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. How exciting. Yes, Councillor.
I missed one of the names. I know Margaret and Mike and
we have Rick Cook.
And who?
Rick Cook. So we have 3.
Thank you.
We're about to do a secret ballot. Will you please put 2 names on this?
I apologise for how scruffy the bits of paper are.
Well, I think so too.
Yeah, definitely.
We probably have to buy some proper post-it notes.
So I suppose we do this and then we fold them over.
I've also got pens. If anyone needs a pen, get me as I'm going round.
Thank you.
I would love to have a pen.
I have a pen, John.
It's okay, we've got the company pen.
Paper, yeah.
No, this is long.
We have a choice between Councillor Cook,
Yeah.
Councillor Oakden.
Or Margaret's, thanks.
You can choose two of those from the staffing committee.
No. Done mine.
Yeah. So how do we feed them back to you? Do we give them straight back to you? Should we?
I'll give everyone a second to vote and I'll come and get them as I go back around the table.
Yourself. Yeah.
How are we doing? Is everyone all done? Are you still? You're not quite there yet.
Margaret's pen.
Oh, bless. Okay, if we could fold.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Is that everybody? Is there anybody not fed back? Thank you very much. So, shall we carry on whilst you count and come back? Lovely. Yes? Everyone all right to have carry on? Fabulous. Right, going on to resilience. Who would like to be on the resilience? Oh, shall I take names for this?
If you could read them out, Your Worship.
Okay.
From the recording.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you. So that's Councillor Cousins, Councillor Paul, Councillor Lindsay, Councillor Michael, Councillor Mike, myself, Mayor Don Francesco, and if you'd like to be on it, and the Deputy Mayor. Thank you very much. Moving on, youth provision. Youth provision, we have, excellent. We have the Deputy Mayor, we have Councillor Smythe, Councillor McDougall, Councillor White, Councillor Price, and Ian. Councillor Ian. Anyone from this side? Thank you very much. Right, in Bloom. In Bloom, we have Councillor Cousins, Councillor White. Oh.
May I just, on the subject of in Bloom, Your Worship?
Yeah.
Everyone has tabled a new set of terms of reference for Glastonbury in Bloom. It was the advisory committee's wish, and I believe it was accepted by full council, that it becomes a delegated committee, meaning it can make its own decisions. Because with the time pressures on in Bloom, waiting for a full council meeting sometimes caused it a problem. So if I could ask members to review it, the most important parts are on the first 2 pages, I believe, regarding obviously the fact that it can now make decisions, and also its membership. It can have non-elected members as voting members of the committee by virtue of the Local Government Act 1972, section 144, regulation 3, and then I lose it after that.
3.1c.
3.1c. Thank you so much, Councillor Cousins. So that ensures that Glastonbury Bloom volunteers can remain as voting members. So if I could ask you all to quickly read those and take a vote to accept them, and then appoint its membership as a delegated committee rather than an advisory committee.
Sorry, Councillor Cousins, then Councillor White.
Was before
Councillor White.
Thank you. I propose that we accept these terms of reference for the In Bloom Committee.
And I second that proposal.
Fabulous, thank you much. All in favour? Thank you. Any against? Any abstaining? Rick, sorry, I didn't see where you went with that one. You're in favour. Thank you very much. That was a majority. Any abstentions? I think that was a majority.
Point of clarity, Your Worship, I think we still need to officially select the councillors who will be on that committee now. It has a new set of standing orders.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Yes, so it's moved to... It's moved to an advisory. So new committee members for In Bloom, please. Glastonbury and Bloom. Oh, and Old, yes, sorry. So we've got Councillor Cousins, Councillor Much, Councillor White, Councillor McDougall, Councillor Smythe and Councillor Oakden. Is that okay?
Thank you, Your Worship. I've tallied the votes for the staffing committee.
Thank you.
I should have received 30 votes in total, with there being 15 members around the table, each having 2 votes. I only received 29 valid votes because one vote was actually for someone who hadn't been nominated. So I've taken the liberty of discounting them. Of the 29 valid votes, 13 were for Councillor Oakden, 14 were for Councillor Smythe and 2 were for Councillor Cook. So the 2 additional members for the staffing committee to join yourself as the Mayor, the Deputy Mayor and the immediate previous Mayor are Councillors Oakden and Smythe.
Thank you very much. Thank you, councillors. Fabulous. So that's in Bloom, St Dunstan's. We did youth provision, didn't we? St Dunstan's, hands please. Fantastic. We have Councillor Price, Councillor Cousins, Councillor Smythe, Councillor McDougall, sorry, Lindsay, Councillor White, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Oakden and Councillor Paul Manning. Thank you. God, it's like a mental test. Perfect, thank you. Are we ready? Right, we've done in Bloom. St Dunstan's Project Implementation Subcommittee.
You've just done that.
Oh, did I? Bless you. Town Hall Revenue Subcommittee. Okay, so we have Councillor Cousins, Councillor Cook, Councillor Manning, Councillor White, Councillor Dougal, Councillor Oakden. Oh, Councillor Lindsay Dougal. McDougall. Thank you. And Councillor Smythe. Yes, bongo at the end here. Oh. Thank you very much, councillors. Right, that is all the committees, as far as I know. Any?
Yeah, that delegated, and then there's the advisory.
Yes, now we've got the advisory committee. Yes, councillor.
Just a point of order, really. When Mendip District Council used to meet, the councillors had a little name thing in front of them with their name on. And I would imagine that helped immensely new chairs of committees or members of the council to know everyone's name without having to rack their brain for whether it's MacDougall or whatever. So I wonder whether we could adopt that for the early meetings of your morality so that you can refer to us all of our correct names.
Bless you, Councillor Cousins. Yes, sorry. I think it's just the first one. It's a little bit overwhelming, but thank you for that. Yes, names would be greatly appreciated, but I will try, and considering I've been saying them for the last year. Right, going on to the advisory committees. First one, neighbourhood plan, please. Thank you. So that's Councillor Cousins, Councillor Dougal, Councillor... No, not you, Serena. I was going Serena Roney. Sorry, Councillor Rini Dougal. I was just saying Councillor Dougal.
Just call me Serena.
Serena, fantastic. Councillor Mike, Councillor Michael, Councillor Paul, fantastic. Right, next, advisory committee, arts, culture.
Lindsay on that one.
Yes, yes.
Point of clarity.
Yes, Councillor Cousins.
The Arts and Culture and Events Committee would also be subject to section 144 of the Local Government Act 1972, Regulation 3.1.c. And I wondered whether that is included in the terms of reference for that committee so that non-councillors can be voting members.
Ah, very good point. Thank you.
In terms of that one, Your Worship, to slim down this evening's agenda, I chose not to review every single terms of reference. My plan was the first meeting of each committee and advisory committee following this meeting will review their terms of reference and make recommendations to full council for any changes. So yes, other terms of reference can be updated to make reference to that piece of legislation.
On point of order, then I would suggest that on the first agendas of Arts, Culture and Events Advisory Committee and indeed World Heritage Status Advisory Committee, that section 144 of the Local Government Act 1972, Regulation 1, 3.1c is actually mentioned within the agenda of those committees for the members to consider.
Thank you. And that's World Heritage Status as well, yes?
Yes, Your Worship.
Okay, so outside bodies. Town, I mean, that's, yes. It's probably for the town crime reduction one as well, but. So,
no.
No, it's not.
That was the one, sorry, point of order, or point of clarity. That was the one, where if they were involved with tourism, then they could manage a budget. So rather than just a regular advisory committee where the non-councillors didn't vote, but with that they could.
Perfect. Thank you for clearing that one up. Right, should we go on to the next one, please? World Heritage Status. Yes, Councillor Cousins.
I haven't put my hand up. So.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Sorry, I'm just used to you.
Do arts? No.
Membership, yeah.
Arts, culture and events. Sorry, let's go back. Membership for arts, culture and events, the ACE group. Thank you. That's Councillor Price, Councillor Cousins, Councillor Dougal, Councillor Smythe. McDougall. Sorry, McDougall. Our Deputy Mayor, Paul Manning, and Councillor Oakton. Thank you. Thank you. World Heritage Status. Councillors Ronan McDougall, Councillors McDougall, Councillor White, Councillor Smythe, our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Paul Manning, and Councillor Oakton. Oh, and Councillor Cousins. Thank you very much. Next one, climate and ecological emergency. So Councillor Serena McDougall, Councillor McDougall, Councillor Smythe, and Councillor Osborne. Town centre crime reduction. Perfect, thank you. Councillor Steve Henderson, Councillor Oakton, Councillor Paul Manning, Councillor Cook, Councillor White, Councillor McDougall, Councillor Smythe, and Deputy Mayor.
Sorry, may I just raise, Your Worship, that group agreed that they would have 4 town council representatives.
Oh gosh, okay. Well, we might need a better. Yes, thank you, Councillor Cousins.
So I would suggest that we, in the same way that we had to deal with staffing, that we deal with this in a similar way and use standing order secret ballot as the way forward, as it appears that there are more councillors than 4 who wish to be on it.
Councillor Dougal.
Unless anybody wants to withdraw, I'm happy to withdraw.
Councillor Steve Henderson.
Thank you. Well, when we had the first couple of meetings, there was quite a lot of discussion about membership. And I was quite keen to be a member of that committee. Obviously, the High Street is in my ward, but I said at the time that if more other councillors wanted to take it on board, I was quite happy to step aside, and I still have that sort of attitude towards it, so I'm quite happy to step aside, because I'm sure whoever takes the seat will give it all anyway.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. I do actually also remember there being an agreement. I wasn't at the last meeting, but was it agreed still for membership to be ward members, that they needed to be ward members?
As it turned out at that last meeting, we finally agreed to become an advisory committee.
Fabulous.
So we discussed the relevance or the pros and cons of being an independent committee or an advisory. Unanimous, it came to advisory.
Perfect.
And then the councillors who were there, it actually ended up with one for each of the 4 wards.
Right. Okay. Well, who were those, and they want to continue?
I was one.
Okay. Okay. So, right. Yes.
Point of order, though, Chair.
Yes.
We're assigning councillors to. It's the beginning of a new year. We're assigning councillors to a committee. So I think it may be prudent to ask which councillors would like to be put forward to see if you have 4 or more, and then we would have a procedure that unfolds.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. I was just intrigued as to who the 4 were. So, hands up then. Let's go back to Town Centre Crime Reduction. Who would like to be on it, please? And let's see if we've got more than... Okay, so we do have more than 4. So, do we go to another ballot? Okay. Okay, so the names...
I would let the clerk know who are the...
So the names are Councillor Cousins, Councillor White, Councillor Mike Smythe, Deputy... Is that a yes or no?
No, but are we going to end up with 1 from each ward?
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to...
You've got a competition here. Got 2 in the same ward.
But have we got 1 from each?
Yes, that's kind of what I was...
And there's the county councillor anyway.
Okay, that's kind of why I wanted to note the 4 people, as to know which wards they were in. Anyway, Councillor Cousins.
Your Worship, maybe the people who wish to be on this committee can say their names to you and which ward they are councillor of, and then if there's only 1 councillor from 1 ward, we know which councillor will be.
Yes. Yep. Fabulous. So.
I was at the last meeting, and I don't remember us agreeing it should be 1 councillor per ward. And it is very much a town centre crime reduction committee.
This was voted in, I think, in the one beforehand. So whether that still carries or not. Councillor Smythe?
Thank you, Worship. Again, I think there was no formal agreement for 1 from each ward at any of those meetings, especially since it's town centre. That was my recollection.
All right, thank you.
Yes, if I may, Your Worship, this group, although we are appointing members to it, the group haven't provided an amended set of terms of reference that the group wish for the Town Council to adopt. So formally, it isn't actually presently an advisory committee. I'm hoping to bring that terms of reference to the next meeting, but I thought it was probably prudent to still appoint members to it at this meeting when we were doing all the other committees as well. And it's correct what's been raised by a couple of members. There was no formal agreement that it should be a member from each ward. So I might suggest proceeding with the process. Everyone who wishes to be on it to put themselves forward. And I've already ripped out 16 leaves of this notepad. I'm happy to bring them around the table again.
Thank you, Connor. Yes, Councillor Henderson.
Well, not wishing to, not use Connor's good work about ripping up bits of paper, but why don't we, if there's 5 people who wish to join the committee, which I think there were, why don't we let those 5 attend the first meeting of the Town Centre Crime Reduction Committee, Advisory Group, and then maybe, because I think at one point we did suggest that if there was more than 4, you could have a sub.
Yes.
So then that would, the 5 councillors who sit on that committee could maybe work that out between them. So rather than go through a ballot, just have the 5 that have asked to be on the committee.
Thank you. Councillor Cousins?
Just a point of order, really. I'm unsure how many people did put their hands up, so I don't know whether it'd be worth just going through the process of seeing which councillors wish to be on the committee before making a decision about how we proceed.
Fabulous. Let's do that, and then, but I do agree actually with Councillor Henderson. So please, hands again. Town Centre Crime Reduction. Okay, so we numbers wise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we have 7.
Much as his hand up.
Oh, 8. Gosh. Okay, we have 8.
Actually, we could have 4 and 4 subs. Maybe.
Okay, so are you proposing that all 8 go to the first meeting?
Chair, I think just to follow due process, I think that we should ballot ourselves as to which four we wish to go on to the advisory committee. If it's an advisory committee that has 4 members, then we should choose 4 members of the council and leave it at that.
Okay, thank you, councillor. Is that agreed? I was suffice. Okay, fabulous. So hands again, please, for the last time. Town Centre, crime reduction. So we have a councillor Cousins. Do we have a councillor Much? We have a councillor White. We have a councillor Smythe. We have a deputy mayor. We have a councillor Cook. We have a councillor Paul Manning, and we have a councillor Margaret Oakden.
And councillor Henderson, are you not standing for it?
I think we got more cooks than we need. Thanks.
Do we have the right cooks? Okay, so to proceed, I'll be, yes, joining, but I can do that as my leisure. So are we doing bits of paper? Okay, so just as a reminder, while we do this, to put the hands up again so people can see who was as we go around. So hands up so we know who we're... So are we doing 1 or 2 people, or are we doing 4?
4.
Oh, Connor, I can only apologise.
No, I shan't. How could I? Thank you.
Although I'd like... Do you not have a chair for the crime group? Aren't you the chair?
The policeman is...
So as deputy chair. I think that's... I know, okay, fine.
Can everybody put their hands up again? So
Yes.
Good, your hand up.
can make no.
Your Worship, I wonder as a point of order whether the clerk could read out all the names of the people who put their hands up, and then as he does so, if we feel the move to write them on a piece of paper, we can.
So I have Councillor Cousins, Councillor White, Councillor Smythe, Councillor Lokabandu, Councillor Manning, Councillor Much, Councillor Cook, and Councillor Oakden.
Right, is everybody ready? Nope, okay, thank you. Couple more minutes.
The only outstanding one was Henderson.
Thank you, Connor.
Cheers.
Is that everybody? Fantastic. Okay, so if we can, whilst those are being added up, turn over to outside bodies. We're ready to move on. So I have Austin Memorial Homes. It doesn't say how many. I don't have any numbers for this.
I can't remember. I think there were only 2 of us last year.
Right, so there's 2 for this. Are there any people who would like to withdraw?
I'll withdraw.
Thank you, councillor. So we have, okay, we still have 3. Thank you. Going down to 2. Thank you very much, councillors. That makes it a lot quicker. So we have... Sorry? Councillor White withdrew.
No.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, that
you
was...
pointed. Okay, sorry, I thought you were pointing at Councillor Price. So can I have hands again, please? Okay, we still have 3 hands. So are we going to vote? We're going to vote. Okay. So I'm just going to note down your names.
I'll withdraw.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Councillor Price. So for Austin Memorial Homes, we have Councillor McDougall and Councillor White. Thank you very much. Perfect. Moving on, Glastonbury and Sharpham Burial Board. Oh, yes. I don't know how many people for this
8
usually.
normally.
Lovely. Wonderful. I like that. Thank you. So we have, for Glastonbury and Sharpham Burial Board, we have a Councillor Cousins, Councillor White, Councillor McDougall, Councillor Osborne and Councillor Cottle. Thank you. Somerset Association of Local Councils. Right, thank you. So one person for the Somerset Association of Local Councils. Do we have any? Who did it last time? Who did it last year?
Well, I was put on it, but I never had any information whatsoever, so I'm not bothering now.
Right.
Somerset.
I'm happy to be the Somerset Association of Local Councillors representative.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. So it's Councillor Cousins for National Association of Local Councils.
Somerset Association, wasn't it?
Sorry, Somerset.
Oh.
Somerset Sulk.
How many for NOC? I'm happy to do this.
I think it'd be good to do both, John.
Yeah, so Councillor Cousins for also National Association of Local Cousins. Did you just say?
Yes, I'm
Thank you very much. So that's for both. Thank you, John.
May I suggest that the clerk alert both the SOC and NOC that who's been appointed and send the appropriate email?
Thank you. Is that? I'll write that down. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. St Edmund's Hall. So that's St Edmund's ward member. Is that?
We have to.
4 members.
4 ward members. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is just 4 ward members. Thank you. So that's Deputy Mayor, all ward councillors. Fantastic.
Bottle Cousins and
Bottle
Ronnie
Cousins and Roni Dougal. Thank you.
Serena.
Sorry, I was told at the beginning that I needed to do that and the second names, and I'm just so not used to calling you by your second names.
Just call me Serena. Think of it like Lockaband.
That's
Think
great.
of it
I mean,
just
I
as
can
one
be
name.
as official as unofficial, but it'll take time. Thank you, Serena. Right, moving on. Glastonbury Community Development Trust. Brilliant. So that's Councillor Lindsay. Any other? I think as the mayor. No, I sit on it. Okay, can I? Lucky me. Glastonbury Community Development Trust. So is that just yourself, Councillor Lindsay? Oh, sorry, Councillor Manning.
I think I should probably declare an interest because I'm a director of Glastonbury Community Development Trust. So I'm already.
So you're already on it. Thank you.
We know how many members they're requesting from us. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
But obviously there are more.
But you're, sorry, Councillor. But you're already on it, so it's one more on top of you. So thank you, Councillor Lindsay McDougall. Lovely. Right. Glastonbury Community, oh no, we've done that. Glastonbury Carnival Committee.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Excellent.
I know Terry Napper would like to be on it.
Thank you. So are we okay to put Terry Napper? Yeah, okay, fantastic. Sorry, who?
Me.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, Councillor Cottle, Councillor Napper. Sorry, were there any other hands? Yes, how many do they need? I expect they'll have as many.
One last year.
It was just one.
Oh, you can have my place if you want it, Zoe.
No, it wasn't Zoe.
Yeah.
It was Councillor Napper and Councillor Cottle.
I was just going, if they needed more
Thank you.
representatives, then
Bless you. Thank you, darling. So what do we do if it's Councillor Napper and Councillor Cottle? Councillor Cottle is here. And they only want one member, do we think? Or should we wait until they... Yeah, okay, great. Let's put you both down. Fabulous. I'm sure they'd
Be happy.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Right, Glastonbury People's Trust. Ah, that's the one that, yes.
So a point of order, it is always the mayor of the day that is an ex officio trustee of the Glastonbury People's Trust.
Thank you very much. Then I should probably declare an interest.
No, your worship, you are it.
Wonderful.
May I, Your Worship? I've
Yeah.
just been checking the list of representatives from outside bodies from last year. The only one I don't think accord with how many members volunteered was the Glastonbury and Sharpen Burial Board, and the number's actually 7.
Oh, thank you.
I believe 8 of you put yourselves forward, if I remember rightly. I didn't write it down because I was tallying the votes. I was going to do it off of the recording.
I could also make an observation on that one that we have yet to meet.
Yes. Yes.
Point of order, Your Worship. Perhaps councillors who
Sorry,
wish
guys.
to be on the Sharpen, Glastonbury Sharpen Burial Board could raise their hands again, and we could see how many of us there are.
Thank you. If you put your hands up for the Glastonbury Sharpen Burial Board. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It was 4 people.
Yeah, we're dying out.
Yes.
Well, the evidence is on film, so.
May I speak to the Town Centre crime reduction?
Oh, yes, please. Yes,
I'm pleased to say that this time I received the full number of valid votes. I received 60 votes. So in reducing order, Councillor Manning received 13 votes. Councillor Lokabandu received 10 votes. Councillor Oakton received 9 votes. So this is the last position up here. Councillors Smythe and Cousins both received 8 votes.
Over to you, John.
Well, I'm actually happy to concede to Councillor Smythe if that suits.
That's kind of the opposite. Yes, are we happy with?
I'm happy. I'll call on John if I need him.
Thank you very much.
Will you be my reserve, John?
I am always in reserve.
Thank you very much.
Perfect, so that's agreed.
Just so that everyone knows that the rest of the votes tally, Councillor White received 7 votes, Councillor Cook received 3 votes, and Councillor Much 2 votes.
Councillor Lokabandu.
Yeah, Lokabandu got in. Yeah, absolutely. So Councillor Manning, Councillor Lokabandu, Councillor Oakton, and Councillor Smythe. Thank you very much. Okay, where do we get to? Okay, so we did Glastonbury People's Trust, which I think was me. Fair Trade, please. The outside bodies, anyone wants to? Thank you. So that's Councillor Cousins and Councillor McDougall. Councillor Cousins.
Just one as a point of order, there is always a member of Sharpham, well, they don't have a parish council, they're in parish, so there's also always a representative of Sharpham at the Glastonbury Sharpham Burial Board, but I'm nervous that only 4 councillors from Glastonbury on that may jeopardise it being ever quorate. And I wonder whether we could appeal to councillors for more councillors to stand for Sharpham and Glastonbury Burial Board.
Yeah, I mean, I very much was wanting to be a part of it as well. So we have that Councillor Price, Councillor Manning, and Councillor Osborne as well. Sorry to chevy that up, but that's the Glastonbury Sharpen Burial Board. I'm also have been waiting for the invite to go on that one. Okay, we're ready to proceed. Perfect. Fair Trade. We did that. Fantastic. Did you note the Fair Trade? Thank you very much.
Cousins and McDougall.
Lovely, thank you. Right, Rights of Way. Glastonbury Rights of Way. Yep, we have a Mike's.
Another one. Do you have 2 on that or 1?
Perfect. So we have a council. How many do we usually have on that? How many do you need?
I'm happy to share it with Nick.
Perfect. Yes.
We usually have 1, but
Yeah,
I value Nick.
I'd be happy enough to get in with you on that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, brilliant. So we've got 2 there, Councillor Cottle and Councillor Smythe.
Perhaps you'd like to attend a meeting at Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Sure, you can sort that out. Thank you. Highways. Highways body. How many people usually? Isn't that usually?
Your Worship, as a point of clarity, I am unfamiliar with highways having an outside representative from this council and would seek clarity from the clerk as to what it actually means.
Thank you. So this council does nominate, rather than necessarily a representative to an outside body, think of it more of a lead member or a champion. So this time last year, it was actually Councillor Cottle, probably by virtue of the fact that you were.
Well, I'm quite happy to do that again if people like, or there could be somebody else who wants to wander around the lanes and then come back and tell me, and I'll.
Is this a potholes?
Yeah, potholes and all the rest of it. Yeah, but I don't mind whichever way.
Fabulous. Is that Nick Cottle, or is there any? Oh no, we have a.
I'm happy to do it with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy with that, Linz. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins.
I was just going to nominate Councillor Cottle if he wanted to do it.
No, wonderful. No, very happy if you want to continue, and very happy for Lindsay to learn the ropes.
Okay, Worship, if I continue doing it and then have Lindsay as extra eyes on the ground, because she's quite good at that.
Yes.
So spotting things. So yeah, that'll work.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Town Deal Board. So is that one person, one representative, or?
Yes,
so perfect. Mike's, yes.
I just need to declare I am a member of the Town Deal Board, independent of being a councillor.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cousins. Thank you very much, Councillor Manning. And you were just swatting a fly. I was. Thank you very much. Councillor Smythe.
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Councillor White, because I think it's important that we have continuous representation, and he's doing a very good job.
Wonderful. All in favour, Councillor White, say aye.
Aye.
Fantastic, and thank you, Mike, for carrying that on. Glastonbury Football Club? Fantastic. Is that just one person? And that's been you usually, hasn't it? Perfect. Lovely. And you're happy to continue? Is everyone else happy for Paul to continue? Perfect. Thank you very much. Lovely. Yes.
Can I raise? I believe
yes, please.
I believe it's the Climate Emergency Committee. I was appointed a representative to the Somerset Bus Partnership, which I believe is Councillor Osborne. And maybe if you're happy to continue that, and if that is official, we should note it.
Thank you. So is that in an outside? That's an outside body.
Yes.
Brilliant. Okay, so we'll note that. So what's the actual title of that? Thank you very much.
Are you happy to continue?
Lovely. Thank you very much. Yes, Councillor Price.
I know that Frost Fair hasn't come up yet, and I'm just wondering whether that is.
Is that up?
Your Worship, I think that should come under advisory committees.
Okay. Do we want to add that one?
Yes, again, I apologise. That would have been an oversight on my part. I clearly didn't go back far enough in my diary to pick up every single committee. But yes, if we could nominate members for the Frost Fair Advisory Committee, that would be fantastic.
Thank you very much. No, that's great. Thank you for that. So, Frost Fair Advisory Committee. Thank you. We have a Councillor Ronnie Dougal with Councillor McDougall, Councillor Smythe, Councillor Manning, and Councillor Oakton. Get there in the end. Thank you very much. So is that the end? Can anyone think of anything else that's missing? Christmas dinner. Christmas dinner.
Yummy.
Okay. Councillor
Your Worship, again, I think that takes the form of an advisory committee.
Yep.
And also, I wonder whether if the committees that we've talked about that are advisory committees do not have a limited membership, could we also ask aldermen whether they wish to be a member of any of those advisory committees?
Nice. Brilliant. So Christmas dinner, please.
Oh, yes, it was yummy.
Who wants Christmas dinner?
Sorry, may I just jump in, Your Worship? We don't actually have an advisory committee for the Christmas lunch. That was organised completely independently of the Town Council.
It was councillors.
Got together and organised.
Just a working group, and we sort of came together and did
it. A working group.
It wasn't even a working group of the Town Council. It was just a working group of members of the public, and the Town Council acted as the bank account.
So I would like to then propose that we either, I don't know, working group's not here, I mean, because it does actually need to meet a lot sooner than it did. So I would propose it becomes an advisory group unless anybody else has another idea. Councillor Cousin, Councillor Smythe, Councillor Henderson.
Councillor Henderson was before me.
Sorry, Councillor Henderson.
Well, just to say that if the members of the public had already organised last year's and are intending to do the same, surely we should get in touch with them and ask what their plans are, and then the council should ask if they would like to help.
Yeah.
Rather than the council drive it. Which
The
seems
council.
the way it went last year.
It did. Oh, I see. Okay. So ask the people that were before, because
they're already doing it.
Well, this year it was councillors that drove it.
If the members of the public that ran it last year are intending to do the same this year, but obviously councillors helped out with that. Get in touch with them, find out what their plans are for this year. If they say, yeah, we're still going to do it, we're happy to do it, and we're quite happy to have your help, then they should be the ones that are driving it, and councillors should do whatever they want.
Okay, Councillor Cousins, Councillor Smythe.
I'm happy to concede to Councillor Price.
Councillor.
I was just going to respond really to Steve and say that what happened last year was that the councillors sort of drove that forward, and then members of the public then got involved.
Okay.
It was set up by councillors, so maybe we want to do that again this year and set up a kind of a public meeting for anybody who wants to be involved and do it that way.
I like that idea. Sorry, Councillor Smythe, Councillor Cousins.
I think, if it works, why fix it? Why change it? So I'll take the clerk's recommendation to leave it as it is.
Councillor Cousins.
Your Worship, I have a slightly different opinion to my colleague. I think that it would probably benefit from being an advisory committee. It has been the victim of the lockdowns and COVID, I'm afraid. But prior to COVID, the mayors, myself included, and mayors such as Emma George, etc., did steer that committee quite strongly as a group that was run through the council, which is why the bank account belongs to the council. So I think that there may be merit in at that initial meeting offering the capacity at least of being an advisory committee to the council. I think that might be a useful thing.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. I would like, so proposing it to be an advisory. If you're proposing, no. What, Councillor Smythe?
Just in reply to that.
Yeah.
I think what Councillor Cousins was suggesting was that the first committee decide, first meeting decide whether.
Yes, that's right.
Or not, so we don't.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, Councillor Cousins.
But it may be useful for councillors who wish to be involved in the Christmas lunch to raise their hands now and let it be known, because I believe that we will be the people who convene the first meeting.
Right, so all in favour who will be, all who would like to be involved in this year's Christmas event. Thank you very much. And I think we just need to note that and set a meeting.
Read the names of the clerk.
Okay, so Councillor Cousins, Councillor Price, Councillor White, Councillor Manning, Councillor Oakden, Mayor, Deputy Mayor? No, and a Mayor. Thank you. Right, do we have any other glaring gaps in this list? Oh, thank you very much, councillors. Right. If we could move on. Okay, so I think we're coming up to 15. Point 15, to review and adopt A, standing orders, and B, code of conduct for councillors. So if we could, yes, Connor, if you would like to speak to this.
Thank you, Worship. I have 3 copies of the new proposed standing orders in paper for anyone who hasn't had a chance to read them. Just as I go around the table, what I have done, I have taken the 2018, slightly modified in 2022. Oh, did anyone want a copy of them?
How many more as well?
So I've taken the latest national model standing orders I have amended them where Glastonbury either does or doesn't do something or does something slightly differently, where it's not a statutory obligation. And I've added standing order 3X, which is that no meeting shall last longer than a period of 2.5 hours without resolution of that meeting for the meeting to last longer. So that is the main change, other than the structure of standing orders.
Fabulous. Councillor Cousins, Councillor Smythe, and then Councillor Cottle.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to see that the new standing orders have been embracing more than just the male gender, and that's probably the first time that this has been so, and it's absolutely great not to see he, him, his as the only pronouns, etc. on the standing orders. What I would suggest is two things. Connor, I have not been able to spot the word advisory committee in the standing orders. Is there a section on advisory committees that I've overlooked? And then secondly, on page 8, which is 3I, it says, a person shall raise their hand when requesting to speak and stand when speaking, except when persons has a disability or is likely to suffer discomfort. I think this is a very good amendment to the standing order, which previously said that all councillors must stand. And I'm conscious that I know of one councillor who has expressed the desire not to stand while speaking during meetings, which I think is extremely reasonable. I wonder whether other councillors might declare at this meeting whether they would rather sit when speaking, so that we have a record of that. Your wish.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cousins. Councillor Osborne.
As somebody who is disabled and unable to stand, I actually feel that this is disability is a protected characteristic, and I actually think this. I accept that this is better than it was, but I find the idea of asking people, you know, you've got a bit of a dodgy leg, have you? I think that's horrible, actually. And as somebody who does have mobility problems, I actually find it really cringy. And I just think the whole standing up and down thing is incredibly distracting and should just be dropped entirely.
Thank you, Councillor Overton. Did you have your hand up?
I was going to say, standing up. There is a section on advisory committees on section 46.
Thank you very much.
Councillor McDougall.
Oh, I thought through the chair, the mayor, I thought exactly the same thing. What is all this jumping up and down about? But actually, you can hear people better when they stand up.
Thank you, Councillor McDougall. Councillor Cottle.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. There is something missing here that I've been looking for, and I can't find it now, is that it would be good practice if we were to vote after 3 hours of a meeting whether we wish the meeting to continue. It's in there. To do it. Did we do it? It's in there, is it? I couldn't see it. We haven't been doing it in the past.
No, the clerk said he's just added it.
Right.
Sorry, Councillor Cousins.
Just a point of order, Deputy Mayor. I don't go up to anything higher than 26. Did you say 46 or?
Have you got the right copy? Do we have two here? We've got standing orders and the amended.
On page 11.
These only go to 23, the ones that have just been handed out.
11.
Page 11.
So has everyone, I've got the standing orders May 23. Is that with the amendments?
No, 2022 and 2023, right?
Yeah.
Mine goes up to 23.
Version.
Yeah, but 22 is annotated.
We want page 11.
Sorry, Connor, did we have two versions? Which is the amended?
Yes, Your Worship. I circulated the previous set, which I think, yes, that's the set you've got on your screen there. Okay. Local Mandu. I've just been reading through section 4, page 10 of the proposed standing orders, and I note that advisory committees behave in exactly the same way, except for the fact that they don't make decisions. They only make recommendations, and that is covered in their terms of reference. So, as I say, these were lifted directly from the NELC national model, and I would anticipate that Section 4, committees and subcommittees, would apply to advisory committees, except in where their terms of reference differ in that they make recommendations. Of course, however, if councillors don't wish to accept this draft, we can continue with the present set of standing orders that we operate under, and I can bring it back to a future meeting and add a section in specifically on advisory committees. I'm happy to do that if everyone would prefer.
Thank you, Conor. Councillor Cousins, Councillor Smythe.
Right to reply, Your Worship. I note they now they drawn it to our attention. 4C does mention advisory committees. It's well hidden within the wording there, but I think that advisory committees may be non-councillors with suffice. It was just I hadn't spotted it, so I don't believe that there's any need to revert back to the old standing orders, and I would propose that we accept these standing orders unless there has been a proposal to deal with whether we stand or not.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Councillor Smythe.
Second that proposal. I think it's an excellent piece of work with amendments where
Thank you. May I just, I don't know if we go to vote now or we bring up what Councillor Osborne had said about the standing. Can I just hear why? I understand that it's easier, especially with it being videoed, because it's very difficult to see who has said what. So by standing, we are actually owning our words, if you like. And as Councillor McDougall said, it's easier to hear. But is there actually an official reason why people speak? Is there another reason? Yes, Councillor Cousins.
Although I've done it quite a few times within this item, we are supposed to only speak once and limit the time that we speak to 3 minutes on any item. We do have a right of reply, but I think that in this context, we raise our hands and then we stand. It's very clear who spoke and when they were speaking. And it's also clear to the people who are watching it on video, which it is very difficult sometimes to know who's speaking. I think that it helps everybody understand the process and keeps us within the Roberts rules, which is what we are attempting to do. So I feel that it is actually very useful to stand and speak and know that you've spoken officially and formally, and that you may have the right to reply. It helps the chair no end, but not just for meetings, but any other situation. So I would be happy to have this new 3I, which says that people don't have to stand if they don't wish to. But I think that we need to, if we were going to move with that, and I'm happy for any other amendment to this standing order, but if we did move with that, it would be very useful at the beginning of a yearly term to know which councillors felt they didn't want to stand for whatever reason. And that way we would have that noted and it wouldn't appear to be a discourtesy to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Is that a reply or shall we go to vote? Okay, thank you. I propose we go to vote. If we would like to put in any other proposal, please do. But can I just say, if we can start with the proposal which was to pass the amendments to the standing orders.
To adopt this.
To adopt, sorry.
To adopt this.
Thank you. Adopt the new standing orders. So all those in favour of adopting the new standing orders? Thank you. That's any against? Any stand asides? Abstentions? Thank you. So 2 abstentions, Councillor Cook and Councillor Osborne. Yes, Councillor Smythe.
Point of order. It does come under. Thank you, Your Worship. Having discussed the advisory committees, the existing advisory committees, would this be a moment in time suitable to raise the possibility of new advisory committees? Because I understand that there is a move to sort of revisit the A361 problem, and it may be that we wish to have an advisory committee sometime during this next year in order to discuss solutions.
Thank you, Councillor Smythe. May I please ask that we put that on the next agenda? Would that be okay? I'm just aware that if we've just adopted standing orders that we are not going to go hopefully beyond 9:30, we should just make it. Thank you, Councillor Cousins.
In light that we've just adopted standing orders in 3I, suggest that people who whether it's suffering discomfort or wish for any other reason not to stand, perhaps it would be useful for us to know which councillors don't wish to stand when they're speaking, so that we're aware of that and it's not seen as a discourtesy to the chair.
Yes, councillor, I was going to ask for that in private, but if people would like to do that now, are there any councillors that would prefer not to stand, sorry, that are unable to stand? Thank you very much, councillors, that is noted. Of course, councillor Cook.
Well, it was a choice of whether to stand or not.
I think it's...
That's the reading I heard.
Okay.
It's a choice. So I could put my hand up and say I don't really want to stand.
Yes, councillor Cook, I believe that is
well, it's not what you said.
I'm reading whatever it is, but...
Point of order, standing orders are standing orders, and we've all been asked to stand when speaking unless they're unable to do so.
Or sitting orders.
Yeah, councillor Cook, it is actually, if you're unable to, that was the actual thing, if you're unable to stand.
You say you're unable to, John? I haven't got it in front of me.
3I. 3I.
Point of order, through the chair.
When you become a councillor, you do take on and you do accept certain recommendations to be a councillor. Okay, thank you very much for those. Moving on. So was that code of conduct? No, code of conduct, Connor.
Thank you, Your Worship. Again, I circulated the Somerset Association of Local Councils wish for every city, town or parish council within Somerset to adopt the same code of conduct for councillors. So they have provided this new version of the code of conduct. I again have a few copies here on the table if anyone wishes to have one in front of them. Please do put up your hand and wave at me if you wish me to bring one round. And essentially, I have not changed this at all. This is as recommended by the Association of Local Councils. It's taken from the Local Government Association.
New module for SALC. So, thank you. Is this pretty much the Nolan principles extended? Disrepute, use of position.
The Nolan principles are included. There's also lots of other things about declaration of interest and things like that.
Complying to the code of conduct. Councillors want a moment to read through those that haven't. No, thank you. Yes, councillor White.
I would be happy to propose that we accept this.
Thank you, councillor White. And Steve Henderson, are we ready to move to a vote? Councillor Cousins.
Point of clarity. There's a little bit of a definition on the front page which classes that people who are members of an advisory committee are known as co-opted members, which doesn't mean that they've been co-opted onto council as a councillor. They're co-opted members of advisory committee. They also have to adopt the code of conduct. And I think that should be made clear at the first meeting of all our advisory committees that non-councillor members must also adopt the code.
Thank you very much. Can we just take that as read? We don't need to vote on that, do we? Okay, thank you. But could we be noted that does happen? Right, so going back to the original vote, are we happy to pass these? Yes, we had a seconder. Thank you. Yeah, all in favour of passing it? Thank you. That is unanimous. Thank you very much, councillors. Fabulous. Right, point 16 on the agenda, to consider the schedule of payments. This is quite a small one because we don't have have no budget monitoring because it's so early in the year. So lucky us. It's the schedule of payments May 2023. A moment to go through. Sorry, do you want to, it's this one here. It should have come in your,
Oh, yeah.
yes, if you want to go through it, I've gone through it. Just have a look at yours, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Cook, and then Councillor Cousins.
The responsible finance officer hasn't prepared one for this meeting, Councillor Cook, because it was quite a long agenda and we're 1 month into the new financial year, so it wouldn't have shown you very much. There will be one for the next meeting, but there wasn't for.
Thanks. That's all I need to know. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Cousins, and then Councillor Manning.
Thank you very much. I just wondered, item 2364, Julia Bedford, food for the 5 Mile food event. Could I just ask, I'm unsure what budget that comes out of, and would be happy to know that. And then item 2393, Banal Engineering, repair to Abbey Orchard Gate. I'm unfamiliar with what Abbey Orchard is and why we're repairing its gate.
Interesting. I can answer the first one unless you want to, Serena.
Yes, I would like to, because it was a long discussion that I had with the finance officer, because originally it was going to come out of the climate emergency group budget, but we had put aside 300 and it was far more than that. But what Jane did, because it was more than the 300 we'd put aside, she had rolled over spare money that the climate emergency group hadn't used in previous years, and she took the excess out of the rolled over money, a reserve fund, and so that's how it was paid for.
Thank you, Serena. May I just add to that? There was £88 also that was taken on the as donations for food. On the actual table itself, so that's included. Thank you. And the second question was the gate.
Yes, if I may, Your Worship. That was repairs to the gates for damage that was accidentally done by our contractors when they put in the basketball court to Abbey Park. They used the orchard gates to store some of their plant. And what they had done was they had knocked off the hasp and the bit that you slide the hasp into to lock the gate. They knocked that off of the gate. So we then paid for the repair to be done. And I didn't ask for the contractors to do that because it took us so many months to pay them their bill. So that's why we picked up the bill to repair the gates. It was damage done by our contractors.
Thank you. And then it was that your question as well?
No, I have a question, which is, I think, for the clerk. And I've been asked to keep a check for the climate emergency group, how much of our budget is spent that comes through on the schedule of payments. And I see that there's one for unique publications for the climate change leaflets. Now, was that part of the People's Assembly, 5 Mile Food and Farming? Is that coming out of last year's budget, or is it to come out of this year's budget, in which case I need to keep track because they want me to keep track of what comes out of this year's budget?
Could I ask you to check with the responsible finance officer? But what I think that is the newsletter that the Climate Emergency Advisory Committee publish, and I would anticipate that would come from this year's budget.
From this year.
But if I could ask you to check that with the responsible finance officer,
I will do.
That's what I anticipate will be the case.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sri. Councillor Manning.
Question for the clerk. 2363, the payment to Microshade Business Consultants. I thought we were moving away from them.
Thank you, Councillor Manning. The contract with Microshade, who host the virtual machine that all the staff connect into, the contract for that ends in September. So we'll be moving away from that to Office 365 slightly later this year.
Yeah, really.
But that will continue until September.
Okay, roll on September. Thank you very much. Was that Councillor Much?
Just clarification, the IT hosting fee, that is £715 a month.
Yeah, really.
Blimey.
Yes,
Hmm.
I second that.
Hmm.
Thank you. Were there any other hands? Councillors, any other questions?
Worship, could I ask yourself and
Yep.
the Deputy Mayor to sign that?
Fabulous. So we're all happy with the
Unless there are any other
record, unless there's any other questions.
Aye.
I was advised. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Oh, so Councillor McDougall.
Well, it's not just me. Does IT hosting involve? Is that a long, complicated thing? Should we?
So the IT hosting fees from Microshade Business Consultants, that is all of our councillor email addresses, all of the staff email addresses, all of the licenses to use Microsoft that all of the staff use. We connect into a virtual machine. So it's the cost of all the emails and the IT software. And I can assure you that it won't much reduce from that under Office 365. That is about how much these contracts do cost.
Will the next one cost as much, please, Clerk?
Without getting quotes for what we want, Your Worship, I actually don't know the answer.
No problem.
I would hope that I could reduce our costs, but I'll have to see based on the number of licenses and the software that we need.
Perfect. Thank you, Connor. Oh, thank you. Moving on. Oh, yes. Did you give it back to me? Oh, it's there. Losing bits of paper. Thank you. Moving on. Point 17. To note the resolutions of delegated committees. So I think we only have a couple here.
Noted.
Oh, is there? Okay.
May I, sorry, just before you move on, Your Worship, there was actually, although it's a delegated committee, I may draw councillors' attention to there's two recommendations. Though granted, one of them is not for full council. The Resilience Committee meeting held on the 24th of April have recommended that the Property and Assets Committee take responsibility for the development of a retrofit plan for the Town Hall. So I will take that up with the committee's chair. And may I also draw your attention to the recommendation of the Staffing Committee held on the 17th of April, which is on page 1, that Councillor Henderson proposed that full council ought to formally recognise the hard work of the entire team of staff in the past year. It was seconded by Councillor Oakton and resolved unanimously. Now, I don't raise that because I'm seeking praise. I raise that because it was a recommendation rather than it was a decision to make a recommendation.
Thank you very much. So, thank you. So does that mean we, in this council, then take a vote on those two recommendations? Is that how we would do this?
We would only take a vote on the recommendation from the Staffing Committee, which was essentially to, I believe, to have a vote of thanks. It's for the Property and Assets Committee to take on the responsibility of a retrofit plan for the Town Hall.
Thank you. Then can we move to a vote? Yep. Fabulous. So this is a vote as to... Councillor Henderson, would you like to read it out?
Thank you, Chair. At the Staffing Committee, I propose that full council ought to formally recognise the hard work of the entire team of staff for the past year. I mean, that's been an extremely busy year, and I think we've been supported fantastically, and we ought to let them know that we appreciate the work.
Here, 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 here. We're seconded here. Fantastic.
Well, Councillor Oakton seconded it at the meeting.
Yes, but don't we have to second it here as well? Oh, okay. Councillor Oakton. Seconded. Fantastic. There we go. All those in favour? Here, I believe that is unanimous. Thank you very much. And a huge vote of thanks for everyone still being here.
In a letter?
Yes, how do we do this? With flowers and...
Give everyone a bar of chocolate.
Bar of chocolate and a holiday, and they deserve it. Thank you so much for proposing that. Right, do we need to go through all of these with the chairs, or do we just read through them?
Unless anybody's got any points, Chair, we just note them.
Thank you.
So I think item D may need our attention.
D?
Oh, no, sorry.
I don't have a D. I've got bullet points. Item D, sorry.
Advisory. So it should be a single sheet of paper, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's the... Are we moving on to advisories?
I'm just looking at the delegated.
Right, resolutions from delegated committees. Are we, anything else to bring up on that? Are we happy with that? Councillor McDougall?
I didn't quite hear what you said, but are we having discussion from the advisory groups?
Yes.
You want me to report on the climate emergency one?
Please.
Not at the moment. We're on the delegated committees and we just need...
Point of clarity, item D requires our attention.
I don't see an item D. I'm ever so sorry.
I think we've got to just clarify that we finished with delegated committees.
Yes, have we
advisory. We
exactly.
seem to be dealing with both at the same
I know,
time.
so thank you. Can we please just go back to this? Are we happy with resolutions from delegated committees?
Yes.
Fabulous, thank you. Moving on to recommendations from advisory committees. Thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Item D. Serena, would you like to speak to this?
Okay, so I just wanted to let people know what had come up from the last climate emergency group. As you can see, there's a recommendation and I've been given the grant thing for that. But just to let people know, there's a repair cafe on May the 20th at St Benedict's Church, which will include somebody to doing bicycle repairs, which isn't a normal thing for them. So I wanted to let you know that. Somebody is setting up an electric bike hire scheme, and I would very much like that to happen in coordination with the GIC. So I was going to suggest that that happened. We were talking about the litter pickers before, and somebody was mentioning that some of the towns in Somerset now have what are called litter pick stations. And this is a place, let's say outside the GIC, where there are litter picker thingies and bags, so people can take a litter pick thingy and a bag and pick up litter and bring the bag back to the litter pick station so that it can then be taken for waste removal. And this might be something that we would like to consider. Now, not a recommendation for this meeting, but it was talked about, and I think that we can bring it through to the appropriate place. I'm not too sure where that is. And the final one is this bus task and finish group, if you remember, that we set up. And we had a very good meeting. There's somebody called Phil Shepherd who did a project in Bridgewater. I don't know whether people who've ever been to London remember Poems on the Underground.
You'll do it.
Well, he did a thing, Poems on the Buses, for Bridgewater. And he is setting up a scheme where he's working with the head of English at St Dunstan's School to work with the pupils there to do poems for the buses. And we will then have a launch event, maybe at Heart of Tribe, and the winning poem will be chosen and the kids can all read out their poems and so on. The winning poem, he will then get First Bus to do the posters to put on the bus.
Perfect.
So that the buses will have a poem on the bus. Meanwhile, we will get leaflets out with the winning poem, together with what buses come to Glastonbury, like the 29 that goes from Windmill Hill to Taunton, this sort of thing, and web links so that people can get the timetables. And each of these will go to a cafe, to B&Bs, to hotels, to the shops, so that visitors, as well as the GIC, can pick up these leaflets and can know what the buses are. Perfect. And have the little poem as well as part of it. So we're going to apply to Finance and General Purposes in July for a grant for this, not for the whole thing. I've got his budget here, you know, working with the children at the school and so on and so forth. And he's put a whole budget. The total is 1530, of which he's going to ask 300 from the town council, and I'll bring that to the July finance. But I just thought to let you know that the bus task and finish group has actually done a pretty good task, and we hope to finish it later this year. So it's going to be a very neat little project that is going out to try and encourage more people onto the buses. And I would like to say that I took the bus to Somerton and back just the other day, and every single bus I took, I think I took 3 in all, they were all pretty full, like 12 to 16 people on each, which is compared to the 1 or 2 that it was not so long ago. I was very pleased about it. It's like more people, mostly older women or students. There's not much in between that, but at least being used, which I was very happy about. So, yeah, litter picking and electric bikes and all these other schemes all going ahead and happening. And I will talk further about the litter pick station at Property and Assets and see whether we can actually get something happening here about that.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Councillor.
Any questions on any questions? Of that, people?
No. Nope, thank you. Look forward to it coming forward.
Can I just say a few words about E?
Yes,
please. The police one.
Much.
So you'll see there's the busking in Glastonbury thing. So the last police meeting, the town centre crime reduction thing, one of the things that was raised was busking. We said, well, we've already got a code. And so out of that meeting came the suggestion that this council relaunches it and promotes it, you know, just so people sort of understand it. One other thing that had come out was about street trading. So some people are not happy about street trading. And so we said, okay, well, are these things legal or not? And if they're not, how do we make them legal? So we actually raised that as a question.
Perfect.
So one of the things was some people are self-employed already. We asked about the peddler's license. Now, it turns out that that thing is actually national, but it's a route that people could use. And then a third option would be like a bylaw for Glastonbury Town Council about how it wants trading to be. So it goes from being illegal, here's a route to make it legal, which I think is sort of very helpful. And Jim from Labyrinth's books had also suggested, how about occasionally having like an artisanal stall, like sort of outside down here, and different people can sell their goods there. And so those 3 things we thought were actually quite useful.
Perfect. Thank you, Councillor White. That's great. Yes, Councillor Cook.
Right, just to follow on, it says in this code, the Buskers Code, music or voice shall not be amplified. Okay, that's the same as you know, pubs, etc. You've got to have a license to play amplified music. It's all right, you know, with drums and bagpipes and all the rest of it, and a brass band, funny enough. But which is a
it doesn't say that.
It doesn't actually.
Well, it does.
Sorry,
it goes on and says, "Or be so loud that either can be heard beyond the distance."
Be amplified to a level. You've missed.
Sorry, can I? Yes, sorry, Councillor Cook. May I just ask that you read that sentence aloud? Music
or voice shall not be amplified to a level or be so loud that either can be heard beyond a distance of 30 metres.
Yes.
That's quite specific.
Yes.
In my mind. And 30 metres going up a high street of sound, you know, with buildings, quite tall buildings on either flank, you can hear it up the top of the high street, all down this end. Now, the thing is, we are seeing more and more amplified music from people who just set up and make a racket. I mean, I get complaints from the shops, you know, what is all this? You know, they used to be able to have a license, or they'd have to apply for 10 days to play. I mean, there's some terrific work. I mean, there's a guy that comes and plays all kinds of music, all kinds of covers on a Saturday usually, but not, you know, every Saturday, thank God. You know, it's not everybody's taste. But all I'm pointing out is the amplified music. Got no problem with people with, you know, unamplified music, as pubs and, you know, venues have to comply with.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cook. Councillor Henderson?
Chair. I think that's always been the case that amplified music to an extent has been allowed, but I think we all have got a pretty good idea of what's too loud. And, you know, quite often I'll say to somebody on the market cross, you know, can you turn it down a bit? And I would say 99 times out of 100, they do it. I've even had to ask the Hare Krishna people because they have got no idea how to control their volume. And it's just distorted. And they're quite happy to do it. So I think it's all about just, you know, most musicians in general are quite considerate. They don't want to be booed off for being too loud. And I think it's just a matter of pointing people in the right direction if they do overstep. I mean, people like Sam Wellborn need amplification because he's playing a classical guitar, and without it, you wouldn't be able to hear him. So it's necessary occasionally, but within reason, and most people are very accommodating.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Henderson. Councillor McDougall, and then, yeah, we'll take a couple more, and then I think we should move on. So, sorry, Councillor McDougall.
I can't see anywhere where it refers to if buskers harass members of the public, and I just thought I'd raise that because it can happen.
Usually
Okay,
the bad
thank you.
ones.
Yes. Councillor Much and then Councillor Cousins.
Just a quick one. I know I had a long chat with a fellow from the Mystic Garden who was complaining that people were drumming beyond midnight, 1 in the morning. And he has a sick relative, a young lad, whose bedroom is in the front. They live over the business. And he did tell me he was being prosecuted for assaulting the fellow. I don't think it was serious or if it'll ever happen. But he got obviously very agitated about it because they wouldn't stop doing it. And I don't know, I suppose the police don't necessarily patrol that late at night here, do they? I don't know, I get the impression that they go home. But there is something to be addressed there, and I feel I should bring it up because he did mention it to me very forcefully.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any more points? Oh, yeah. Sorry, yes, of course. Do you want to answer anything on that take?
No, thank you, Your Worship. I just wondered whether this might be something that the Town Council supports in principle and asks the Town Centre Crime Reduction Group to work on updating the wording of the leaflet and consider any other additions or omissions they wish to make from the present leaflet.
Yes, thank you. That's a really good suggestion. And also taking into what Councillor McDougall said about harassment and any other things that can be fed in. Thank you. And noise and distance. Thank you, Councillor Cousins.
So councillors who've been on the council a little while longer, I believe this was when Councillor Denise Michel was first mayor, this came in as a proposal. And everybody thought it was a splendid idea, very nice to have chaired Bard of Eunice Richmond on the front. That was the Bard. The reason why we are thinking of relaunching this or re-establishing this is because it didn't work. The reason why it didn't work is there's another E word, an engagement, and it's called enforcement. And enforcement, without it, this means nothing. So who is the relevant authority and how will this be enforced?
Thank you. Is this answering? Okay, but that is a good question. Councillor Osborne and then Councillor Manning.
I mean, enforcement, I think, is absolutely key. I really do. I spoke to somebody playing with an amplifier the other day, and he just responded with, I don't care, it's only a bylaw, you can't enforce it. And there's a character called Rainbow Tony. I mean, I have so many complaints because he's outside of Sons of Asgard, and I live next door. And people have actually walked out of many shops because of him. And I know Art of Africa have lost staff because of him. And I've spoken to the police about it. They're aware of the situation, but nobody seems to be prepared to enforce anything. And he's really quite threatening and quite unpleasant, especially to women.
Yeah, no, I witnessed this as well. Thank you, Councillor Osborne. Councillor Manning?
Yeah, I was involved with creating that leaflet, and it was actually, most of it was actually drafted by the buskers at that particular time. The reason for the relaunch is we have a transient population. Most of the people who are busking now probably weren't involved with that, may not even be aware of it. So it's basically making everybody aware.
Thank you, Councillor Manning. Yeah, that was my understanding as well. So is there any, so there was a suggestion to take this forward to another group and maybe update it slightly, or is this it? Because we do have lots of them apparently sitting in boxes that probably need to go out. Councillor Henderson.
This is a very good guide. Bath and Bristol produced their own guide, which is very similar, but has a little bit more detail. I would suggest maybe just have a check on those. But I mean, it's got pretty much most of the things you need on here. The times that you're allowed to play are on here. We're talking about amplified music, etiquette, etc. If something's too loud, you know, there are laws to prevent people making a racket, no matter what you're doing. So those laws can be enforced. With regard to Rainbow Tony, I mean, that guy has problems. You know, he's not just a bad musician and an annoying person. I mean, the guy needs some sort of help, and I think that's another issue completely. And I know he's annoying, and I know I've had lots of people in the high street complain about it. You can't reason with somebody like that, unfortunately. And you know, the fact that he thinks he's a great musician is part of the problem. But you know, that is an issue all in itself, and I don't think any pamphlet is going to solve that.
Can I take one more point and then we'll move to...
It's a point of order. We're past 9:30.
Thank you very much for that point of order. So we will take, we can take a little vote to see if we're going to go on, but let's get this done first. Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Is that about this?
We have to do it.
I propose that we refer this back to the police committee, whatever it's called, and let them deal with it and come back to us, Chair.
Thank you. I like that. All in favour? I will suffice.
The seconder.
Oh, seconder, sorry. Seconder? Lovely, thank you. I will suffice.
Aye.
Fabulous. That was lots of ayes. Thank you very much. Right, it has gone 9:30, so do we want to vote to carry on for another 15, suspend standing orders? Councillor Cousins and then Councillor Manning.
No need to suspend standing orders. Under new standing order 3X, I propose that we resolve to exceed a period of 2.5 hours.
I would second that.
Thank you. Let's just hear from Councillor Manning and then take to vote.
I was just going to say that the new standing orders don't say that the meeting stops at 9:30. It's when the meeting's been going on for 2.5 hours. So if the meeting didn't start at 7 o'clock.
Oh, thank you, Councillor Manning. Smooth. Okay.
I still would propose that we resolve to use item 3X on standing orders to extend the period of time longer than 2.5.
Thank you. Yes, point of etiquette. We have a seconder, so all in favour of a little bit further as, yeah, okay, thank you very much. Not too long. Okay, that's great. That is a majority. Thank you. Well, I promise to get us through this as quick as possible. But yes, Councillor Manning, you are right. We did start late. Sorry for all the flaff. I will improve with time. So going on to the next. Oh, do we have, sorry, going back to a recommendation from advisory committees. Are there any more recommendations, please? Thank you, Councillor Cousins. Oh, yeah.
Item F, there are 2 from the Glastonbury and Bloom Advisory Committee.
Thank you.
May I speak to the first one at the appropriate time?
This could be the appropriate time.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to not really query, but raise the recommendation states specifically a blue plaque. So I was doing some research into blue plaques, and nationally, the rules for blue plaques state, and they are apparently now followed without exception, that the person who the blue plaque is awarded for died over 20 years ago. And also, blue plaques are a way of connecting, apparently according to the English Heritage website, people with place. So they tend to be attached to buildings. So it was so-and-so lived here, kind of idea. I just wanted to raise that. I felt what might be maybe more appropriate is just a more generic memorial plaque to be sited over in that location. And perhaps for the topic of further blue plaques in the town to be undertaken by another committee. Off the top of my head, I'm probably going to suggest property and assets at some point in the future as part of its town improvements role. So I just wanted to raise on those two halves to that recommendation for members to consider.
Thank you very much. Councillor White?
Thank you. So at the In Bloom meeting, we were talking about the place outside the Winking Turtle and Happy Glastonbury, and we did actually say just to have a plaque in there, like a memorial plaque, a bronze thing, or wood or something, and then the blue plaque that sort of got added on as a separate part of it. But we were quite happy just to have something over there.
Thank you. So this doesn't have to then go back to the In Bloom. You're happy to take this forward without the blue-black bit? Fantastic. Okay. Do we want to take the second point, or do we want to do the...
Sorry, Your Worship. Could I just have someone propose to accept that there's a memorial plaque for David Beach placed in the brick planter, and for further blue plaques in the future to be considered by the Property and Assets Committee?
Thank you very much. So yes, that's seconded by Councillor Much. So that's Cottle and Much. Thank you very much. All in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much, councillors. Perfect. Recommendation. So this number 2, In Bloom, recommended the pebbles for Dave Beach. Oh, is this separate or the same?
Similar. I can carry on from that. So
please do.
All of the stones that were outside the church for Dave Beach's thing is too big for over there. And so I suggested that maybe that could go up to Fisher's Hill. And so that was in a conversation with Dave Beach's daughter. Oh, no, it was for discussion. Yeah.
Okay, so can I suggest that actually goes to the new Fisher Hill, Friends of Fisher's Hill advisory group? Yes, can I, Claire, quickly? Yes, please.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's some email writing and
Perfect. Thank you so much, worthy Mace Bearer. Is that okay, Councillor Much? Thank you very much. So, Councillor White.
Thank you.
I'm having brain fusion. Thank you. So is that okay for everyone? Lovely. We don't need to vote on that because that's still going. Thank you very much. Is there anything else on the advisory committee? Any recommendations need to go through? Are we happy? Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. I think we're good. Number 19, consider to purchase the electric devices for council's use. Thank you very much. Connor, would you speak to this?
Thank you, Your Worship. I shall keep it brief. I've been contacted by the corporate social responsibility arm of a large IT firm who are offering for organisations such as ours, for people who, on a voluntary basis, whilst I don't like calling elected councillors volunteers, you are essentially volunteers because you are unpaid, offering refurbished electronic devices at lower than cost price. So it's been highlighted this evening and at other meetings that not every councillor has the luxury of an electronic device that they are able to bring to meetings. And for council business, it is appropriate that the town council provides a device. And this is a way for the town council to do so at a relatively low price. So I've been offered by this large IT firm to purchase laptops at £84 per device. So I was hoping twofold for members to consider whether they are happy for the town council to provide for members who wish or need, or both, to have a device, to provide it for them, and also for myself to be able to place an order, know which councillors wish to have one or require one. So if you'd like to take it in that order, Your Worship.
In that order? Okay, fine. Thank you. Are we happy then to consider the purchase of electric devices for councillors' use? Who would like to propose? Councillor Cousins. Oh, point of order. Thank you.
Which budget is this coming out of?
This would come from the equipment budget, Councillor Cousins.
Wow, we have an equipment budget. Fantastic. Serena, Councillor Dougal.
I would like to propose that we go forward with this, that people who need an electronic device, that the town council can get this very good offer and purchase a device for them. I'm going to propose that.
Thank you very much, Councillor Dougal. Do we have a seconder, or is there any more points of order?
Yeah, I'll second it, but I'd also like to say something.
Of course.
Yeah, this is one that I get from the county, okay? It looks brilliant, and it is brilliant for the county. We've tried to put stuff on here from our town council, and it doesn't take it. And whatever you do, you cannot make it so that I cannot receive emails from the town council on this machine, which is a bit absurd, I've got to say. So I think it is much better if we go through to having our own separate computers that are provided by the Glastonbury Town Council, which we know will take everything that comes from the Glastonbury Town Council, and it works. And so I would suggest, and I would very much back what Serena said, that it's a really good idea. And I'm looking around here now, and I'm looking at the people who haven't got computers, and I'm afraid it is the way to go. At the county, we don't use paper. Everything is done on here, and I think it is the way forward. So I think, yeah, I'm with it.
Thank you very much. Before we move to vote, do we have anyone who else wants to talk about it? Councillor Cook, did you want to?
There's just plenty of things I can think of, like, the size of it and, what happens if it gets damaged or whatever, because I'm assuming we'd be taking it away from here. We wouldn't be living here, would be pointless. So, what happens when you drop it in the street? Do you get another one or what? There's so many implications looking after a piece of... Pardon?
Thank you.
Don't drop it.
Thank you, Gary. Well, is there something... Thank you. Is this something you can answer to, Connor?
So councillors would be able to take the device with them. They wouldn't stay here. They would be covered under the town council's insurance because it would remain as a piece of property of the town council. No, it wouldn't remain in the town hall. No, it would remain with councillors. It would be signed out to them, and it would be covered by the town council's insurance, so that if there was accidental damage and it was destroyed, it's probably, to be honest, at that price, you're much better just buying a new one rather than claiming on your insurance. But no, they will remain an asset or a piece of property of the town council and be signed out to councillors. And yes, if they are damaged or destroyed, they would be replaced.
Thank you very much, Connor. Any more?
Just about the quality of the machine itself, and £84. I mean, it is nothing for a laptop. Yes, I mean, I know they are cheaper nowadays, but even so, I mean, what is it? What's the program on it? What's the running? Yes. So I don't know if everybody downloads a lot of their stuff. I mean, I'm starting to download all mine, and it's taking up a lot of space on mine.
I can answer the question,
please.
It's a Windows-based laptop. It's not a humongous laptop like this one here that's 15 inches, but I also don't believe it's a tiny one. I think it's about a 13-inch laptop. It has a new version of, I believe, Windows 11 installed on it, and all the hardware inside is for instance, the memory, etc., is refurbished. They are a good quality device and certainly perfectly serviceable for the types of uses a councillor will need for it, which is predominantly emails and meeting papers.
Thank you. Any more questions about the actual? Okay, Councillor Cousins, Councillor McDougall, and Councillor, I think you were first. Councillor Manning. Okay, fine. Councillor Manning, Councillor McDougall.
It's just a question about the equipment budget, that if we end up spending, I don't know, £1,000 or something on these things, does that affect the ability of the town council in terms of other things that you had planned to buy this year?
So our equipment budget, off the top of my head, I do not know how much is in it. However, almost every town council member of staff got a new device last year, so we're not forecasting to need to buy IT devices for the town council staff this year.
Thank you, Connor. Councillor Cousins, Councillor McDougall.
Thank you, Worship. Just to a point of clarity, really, these devices would belong to the town council.
Yes.
I'm assuming then that they will be preloaded with all the things that councillors would need, like the connection to the emails, etc. will all be on there. Would it be prudent for us to buy a few more than 16, because we do have aldermen within the council who do have the capacity to attend meetings, and they may be people who don't have their own device, And that way they could be fully engaged as well if they wish to. They don't have to, but if they wish to. And also if something such as an accident did happen, we've got one that could replace one without going to the insurance, because £84 is really rather cheap.
That is a question, I think, to Connor. I know what my thoughts are, but...
I certainly could ask the aldermen if they are interested in a device for council use, and I'm certainly open to ordering maybe one or two in surplus. I'd be interested to know from the table who may wish to have one and how many you may wish for me to order in surplus. I would recommend not ordering too many in surplus, because then you'll end up with an out of date device that no one's ever used. However, maybe holding one as spare is probably not a bad idea. And in terms of the setup, yes, I will go through the setup with councillors when they arrive. So all you'll have to do is click a few buttons to get through to everything that you need.
Thank you, Connor. Do we have just a couple more points, and then I'd like to move to votes. So Councillor Osborne, and Councillor White. Sorry, was there anybody else who had their hand up before as well? And Councillor McDougall. Councillor Osborne.
I appreciate that £84 is very cheap, and I assume that when we cease being councillors, we will give them back, so they always remain the property of the council. But, I mean, it's public money we're talking about spending here. And how necessary is it really? I don't own a computer. I use the library. It's free. And you can get all the stuff you need. You can download, you can print everything out if you want to. You can download on it. I can download it on my phone if I want to. I find the idea of let's get one each, on the assumption that nobody here has got a computer at all or ever has access to them, because that's why else would we want one each? I just think it's a huge waste of public money.
Thank you, Councillor Osborne. Does anybody else have a right to reply? Yes. No, totally, but I'll take Connor's if he wants to do a right to reply.
No, thank you, Your Worship. No, I just wanted to raise, I never personally recommended that every single councillor get one. However, the option is there for every single councillor. And I would just raise that although I haven't necessarily looked at the figures in detail, I can guarantee you in staff time and paper and copying, it's much more expensive for us to be doing this for most meetings than it will be to provide electronic devices, because by the time that myself and Jackie today had to put all of this together, by the time you add up the paper, the ink, mainly staff time and the effort to do it, I can assure you that electronic devices are actually much cheaper. But yes, they are one cost on a piece of paper, whereas you'd have to go digging to work out exactly how much all of these meeting papers cost. But I would bet a lot of money that this is a heck of a lot more than those very reasonably priced electronic devices.
Thank you for your answer, Connor. Can I also just say this is for meetings. This is to bring into meetings. Some people already have them, as you can see around the table. This is just to bring in so we don't have so much paper, which was agreed and passed at one of our very first meetings nearly a year ago. So can I... Mike will take one more, and then I think we're just going to move to votes. Thank you, Councillor White.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I recently bought a smaller computer and I'm setting it up, so I don't need.
That's really great. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Councillor McDougall, please do. You had your hand up. Please do say, and then we'll move to vote.
First.
You did. Thank you.
I'm supportive of this because
Lovely.
I have an expensive desktop computer at home and I don't want to buy a laptop as well. And I feel that because we're doing this voluntarily, I'm not entirely in favour of paper at every turn. I take a daily newspaper, so, you know, it's kind of swings and roundabouts with this. And so I'm in favour of the laptops being supplied by the town council.
Thank you. Are we agreed, please, maybe if we've had a proposer and a seconder?
I proposed.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder?
Do I second it?
Councillor Cottle.
Councillor Cottle seconded. Thank you
Move to
very
vote.
much. Can we move to
Move
vote?
to vote.
All in favour? Thank you very much. All abstentions? Sorry, all against? 2 against and no abstentions. Thank you. Thank you very much, councillors. Oh yes, can now we have show of hands those who would be in need and appreciate a new reconditioned small laptop to take away. Thank you very much. We have 1, 2, so we have Councillor Cottle, Councillor Cousins, Councillor McDougall, Councillor Smythe, yes, and Councillor Oakden. Thank you. And that makes 5 in all. Thank you very much for that recommendation. Oh, yes.
In September, don't forget Councillor Napper needs to be contacted whether he would
Oh,
want to
yes,
apply.
thank you. And anyone, yes, I'm sure. So anyone who's not here, thank you very much. Of course, my lovely. Thank you so much for attending.
Enjoy.
Okay, let us speed through this next one. So we are to receive a unitary council report from Councillor Cottle, which we have all received in the post.
You have indeed. You've received
or email.
You received the big one in the email. More will be coming because I want to send you all something that says all the great stuff that Mendip Council have done over the years. So that will be coming to you in the next few days. Right. If you've got any questions, just ask them or send me an email anytime. You can phone me anytime if you want to know anything. Okay? I'm there. I'm not invisible. Okay? I can assure you plenty of members of the public do. And the best one that I have, well, I won't say the best one, but the most strange one is I had a farmer call me yesterday. I've got pictures of it, where his livestock houses were being flooded by water from the main road. And he was really quite agitated about it. And I don't blame him, because it is very years ago, the drainage system had just been put off the road straight into the field, and of course a slope, and it just goes straight down. And as climate, things have changed, it's got worse. So I've got that to deal with tomorrow morning. Okay.
Amazing.
Cheers.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much. Yes, it'd be nice to hear. Okay, so in this, going on to point 21, which is to receive a verbal update from outgoing and incoming representatives to outside bodies. That's because this is a new meeting. So yes, please, Councillor White.
Okay, very quick, because you'll all be really excited. Town deal update. So, we had a presentation at the last board meeting from Fusion, who were doing tour leisure. Remarkably, they said all of the costs are going up, so we're going to stay within our budget and reduce the size and the delivery of the project. Bravo. Bailey's has yet to sort of realise that one, so they're still sort of struggling. So that's the most expensive project. And so they now are almost certainly, so they've had hugely different costs from quantity surveyors. So they won't have enough money to do their original plan. But what they're thinking now to do is phase building. Do a bit, try and rent it out, do another bit and whatever. Abbey Piazza, I think we already said, hopes to start this year and finish by May 2024. They might need to make a temporary gate down by the Abbott's Kitchen.
Yes.
Enabling, sorry?
Carry, oh, sorry. Yeah. Do they have a date for that yet, when they want to start?
I think about September, October.
Thank you.
I think.
Carry on.
Enabling project, the planning application for that is going in for the site by New Close Farm, so the one on Porchester Road. Somerset Council expects some public challenges. So that's where it is.
Thank you.
Life Factory, Building C, they recruited apprentices to start doing it. Strode College was unhappy that they hadn't asked them, so they have a very good apprenticeship programme, and they went outside. They went to Train for All, or something like that. Anyway, really that was brought up. The Robert Richards initiative is very, very slow, and apparently they're struggling to get the multi-user footpaths joined up. So I've no idea. St Dunstan House, we hope that planning permission will be approved shortly. The clerk has just gone puce. The last issue apparently was the balcony structure. So the bit holding the ancient balcony up, whether it should be rotting wood, so it looks like the original, or whether it should be steel with some cladding. So, but the drainage apparently, I'm sure the clerk might have a sort of update, but I think the archaeologist said that was okay.
Great.
We've appointed Dowless as our project manager, who are very good, and the Burt people, so Bailey's, they're thinking of using them as well.
Poaching.
And so poaching and over that. And then the bicycles that Serena mentioned, Glastonbury bicycles, that's well in progress. They've had meetings with Connor, they've looked at GIC, so this is Steve from over there and Charlie Morgan with the e-bikes. They've looked at places about putting in the car park, GIC, all of this. So that is unfolding as we speak.
Perfect, that's
And
really
that's it
exciting.
at the
Thank you
moment.
so much, Councillor White, that is very exciting. Do we have any questions? Councillor McDougall and Councillor Cousins.
On that, I have just a quick report from us.
Oh, okay, sorry, okay. No questions? Questions? No, report.
One quick question, one quick observation. I'm still not convinced that the enabling project is in the right place.
No, it's not.
So I'm having a meeting on Friday to have a look down that drove. I mean, I think, although Julie Reader-Sullivan is quite difficult to convince, I'm quite happy to take on that challenge and take her down there. So, yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't mind having a chat with you later.
Yeah, sure, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Are we any more comments or should we move on? Councillor McDougall?
Mine's just another outside body which I need to get in somewhere.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so this is the op shop. I've got a little report from one of the volunteers. The op shop based in the Abbey Mews has closed its doors after some 17 plus years of active service, but the shop lives on. Prior to all the disruption caused by COVID, we had noticed a decline in foot traffic and a shift away from jobs per se and more interest in housing, universal credit and other benefits issues. Most of the volunteers have been trained to NVQ level 3 in information, advice and guidance, so felt comfortable with this shift in focus with a considerable amount of coaching and research on these subjects. This service is still apparently much needed in Glastonbury and is offered every Monday at the Talking Cafe by 3 of the volunteers from the op shop. We are open to other venues should they arise, and in the future will offer clients an online capability for those who are computer savvy using the old laptops from the op shop. So I just wanted to get in, but the op shop is still doing something and probably won't cost so much.
Thank you very much. Can I just clarify, where is the Talking Cafe?
In St John's on Monday.
Oh, yes, of course it is. Thank you very much. Councillor Reader. Councillor Cousins?
Very much just a report back from Glastonbury People's Trust. The Mayor's event that happened on the 29th of April raised £400 for the charity.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Do we have any more? Sorry, any more? Yes, please, Margaret.
That's my report. Very quick. I'll be as quick as I can.
All good. All good stuff.
The South West in Bloom. I'm reporting back on the seminar that was held here in the Town Hall in Glastonbury. Feedback from the organisers was extremely positive. And in fact, the organisers felt that this was the best ever seminar they had held. The Town Hall staff of caretakers and administrators worked tirelessly to make this work, and we owe them a great thank you. So I hope, Connor, you'll take that back. And also, they were very appreciative of the magnificent floral displays created by Irene Zola, and that was universally admired. The planning for this year's Glastonbury in Bloom is now well underway. The posters for the children's competition have already been distributed, and we are, in case you don't know, the colours this year are going to be under the aspects of the Avalon sunset and sunrise, and that's quite poignant because we have the sunset of a monarch and the sunrise of another, and so those colours will be throughout the town. Hanging baskets have been ordered, and the road signs have been adapted and changed, and they now show Glastonbury in Bloom, so that was quite a big thing. On a sad note, Gerald and Mark have decided to hang up their trowels and retire. Then we're sorry to see them go, and we're grateful for them for all their undoubted work that they've put in and their commitment over the years. So it's very sad to see them go. We are still keeping in touch with them, and we have plans for other volunteers, but we can't talk about that just yet. It's a secret.
Before I turn into a pumpkin.
Of course, my darling, nobody wants you as a pumpkin. Thank you very much, Councillor. Yes, sorry.
Just on a positive note, Glastonbury in Bloom finances are healthy, with sponsorship from the following organisations being extremely generous. The Crown Hotel, £500. Burns the Bread, £200. The Glastonbury Festival, £1,000. And Dickett's will be giving prizes for the children. And so far, the income from the hanging baskets is £266.11. So the planning will go ahead, but I would ask you all, if you can, to encourage people to join in and volunteer.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Margaret. Councillor Cousins.
Very quickly, I think that this council should give a formal vote of thanks to Gerald and Mark for all the work that they've done over the years in getting us continually gold. But I think that should be formally recorded in the minutes of the meeting. And I also would like to say that perhaps we should give a vote of thanks to the chair of Glastonbury and Bloom as well. Mark has done a tremendous job in that role. Here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Margaret. And do we have a seconder of that proposal? Fantastic. And I will suffice as to a vote of thanks to our two Blooms. Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you. Any more reports? Sorry, representative outside bodies? No. Thank you very much. Going on to Agenda 2022, Mayor's announcements. Can I please just say that we have penciled in the 24th of September for the Mayor making.
Sunday.
Mayor's Sunday, thank you. We've just done the Mayor making. For Mayor's Sunday, 24th September, the reason it is quite so far away is to give us all a little bit of a break, give our staff a break, but also because I'd like it to focus on our LCN, so working with them, so a bit of a working one. Brilliant. It'd be nice. And just to announce the Mayor's charities will be the Glastonbury Mental Health Network and Glastonbury Trust. So that's, thank you. And obviously Glastonbury People's Trust, which automatically becomes the Mayor's charity.
Mental health?
Glastonbury Mental Health Network. They did come and do a little talk to us.
A point of order, I am a director of the Glastonbury Mental Health Network. It's a declared interest.
Fantastic, didn't know that. Well, now you know that it's the charity. Thank you very much. So moving through, any communications and announcements? Nope. Okay, moving on, correspondence. Is that yourself?
I've had none, Your Worship, that I need to bring to the attention of members.
Fantastic. 25, news releases. So what news releases? Oh, yes, thank you. That might want to be.
New mayor.
Thank you very much, yes. That'd be great. And maybe the coronation? What we've just had in the Abbey? That'll be next meeting. Thank you. Yes, Mike.
On that note, the actual photographer for Mendip Times, I forget his name,
Mark Alder.
Mark has sent some photos of the day to you, Connor. So perhaps you might like to update our website with embellish our website with some of those photographs.
Lovely. What a brilliant day. Right, actions arising from the meeting, Connor.
Thank you, Your Worship. It will come as no surprise I have noted a number. I need to amend the minutes of the last meeting to reflect the votes that were taken in confidential session. I need to amend the calendar colours and reissue it. I need to be in contact with Councillor Napa regarding committees he may wish to be on, and also the Alderman. I am to make name tags for members in meetings. I am to add to the agendas of the first meetings now of various advisory committees regards the legislation on tourism. I am to add to the June agenda an A36 to consider an A361 or a revival of the A361 advisory committee. I am to issue to advisory committees that their co-opted members are also to adopt the code of conduct, and to pass on to all staff the council's thanks. I'm to pass on the busking leaflet to the Town Centre Crime Reduction Advisory Committee when it's an advisory committee. I am to pass on the formal vote of thanks to Mark Penton and Gerald Morgan of Glastonbury and Bloom for all the service they've given to the town over the years. And I am to take the photos from Mark Adler to do a news release on the coronation, and also to take a picture of the new mayor and deputy mayor downstairs before you retire to the second chamber for a news release on the new mayor and deputy mayor.
Thank you very much, Connor. And then I will just note the date of the next meeting, which is Tuesday, the 13th of June, and declare this meeting closed.